We'll put it there. I might need to adjust that in a sec. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Happy Sunday. Raging Loop Reading Day. I'll start from the get-go. Woke up today and hasn't been getting much better and may potentially get progressively worse as the day goes on. Who knows? A smallish headache on my end, which doesn't make for the funnest streams on my end. So again, not again, but if I do come across as lower energy or something, it's probably for that reason. But I'm gonna try to stick through it at least for a couple hours, and we'll see if it gets better as I read or something. Hope everyone's doing great whenever you're watching this, whatever day you happen to be keeping your eyes on this. What should we recap here? What happened in the last stream? I think the last stream was only about an hour or so. We basically avoided anyone getting hung by vote in the meeting. There were some people that wanted to hang a potential wolf, and then Hashimoto came to our rescue and was like, hey, we shouldn't hang people because that makes us bad. And then our guy Haruaki was like, yeah, we shouldn't hang anyone, but I couldn't. He's like, I can't be too. He's playing both sides now. Well, not both sides, but we're the drawn wolf. We're one of the three wolves here in this round. And he's like, I can't like make it seem like I definitely don't want people to get hanged because then I might come across as trying to save my skin as a wolf or whatever. And before the official vote or abstain from voting, it was seeming like some people were pointing towards Haruaki to be voted against as far as being the chosen one to be hung, which obviously wouldn't be good for our guy, because our guy is like, I'm a wolf. I have the ability to learn quite a bit from being a wolf. And of course, seemingly, this seems to be a Haru-focused situation, right? Or branch. You know, I talked about before, like, in the last stream or two, where it was like, getting close to Chiemi was where we did our first branch. Getting close to Rikako was important in our second branch. And now he's like, this Haru person seems interesting. There's something going on with her. I might be able to get some more info to solve this whole mystery from her. So, and luckily enough, she ends up getting the wolf as well. So that just is hella convenient for him, yeah? So he's like, all right, we're going to do this. He finds out that Haru and Kaori are the other two wolves with him. They seem like they're not too pleased with them being wolves. They're like, fine, I don't want to do this. They don't seem very bloodthirsty. He has also said that he doesn't feel himself very bloodthirsty. He's like, is that because I'm an outsider? Do I not feel like I'm down to, like, murder people in this village because, like, I'm not deeply entrenched in this village's, like, traditions and everything and stories and all? Like, do I not feel that? Now, who knows if that'll change here as he progresses into the first night of potential killings and all. So yeah, we also had a moment with Hashimoto where he was like, I think he talked to us and he was like, I think Haruaki was like, good job getting people not to get, wanting to hang someone. And Hashimoto was like, well, I'm just cool like that. And also, if people voted for you and you were gone, then I might be the next person people point to, because I'm kind of like an outsider, as close to an outsider as you are, kind of thing. And Haruki's like, okay, yeah, you're right. So Hashimoto basically wording that weird, but Hashimoto is basically looking at him and being like, okay, so Hashimoto looks at Haruaki like, oh, he's my shield. As long as I can keep him around, less focus will be on me and my partner here, the reporter, who was a wolf last round, remember? And then we got close. The ending of the last stream reading was basically, it was like time for night. And Haraki's like, how is this gonna work? Like, how do we do this thing? how the fuck does any of this work? Like, if I'm a wolf, when do I know to go out? What happens? And then he started getting tired, and he fell asleep. And then I think he woke up in the middle of the night, and he's like, oh, I guess I just get woken up in the middle of the night by some otherworldly force or something. I don't fucking know. And then he saw a pile of clothing, like a costume, like a Party City wolf costume. Not really Party City, that's just selling it short. It was very traditional, like old customs, like shitty kind of like bamboo and wooden wolf mask looking thing, just kind of thrown on a pile in his place of sleeping. And he was like, oh, I guess I put this on. And so he put it on, and he looked totally cool, don't question it. And then Haru was like, knocked on his door and was like, I'm Haru, I'm also here, I'm also in this stupid costume. And he's like, yeah, you are. And then that was, I think, where we ended. So I don't know if they go out and do a murder. We're gonna find out here. A little bit of a cliffhanger. Let's go. Apparently, Haru-chan had walked through the mist without any light. I took out my small flashlight.
何それかっこいい
What's that? It's so cool. And was met with a weird reaction.
あげるよ。一応2つあるし。
You can have it. I have another one. I prepared them in case I ended up running away with someone at night. I sure as hell hadn't expected to be a wolf, though.
嘘いいの
Whoa, really?
うん。暗いと危ない。ちなみにどうやって来たの？
Yeah, it's dangerous in the dark. How'd you get to me anyway?
安水の道なんて覚えてるし
I know Yasumisu's paths by heart. Made sense. It was dangerous regardless, though, so I just gave her one and showed her how to use it.
ただ、みんなにバレないようにね。夜出歩いてるなんてバレたら大変だ。
Just make sure no one knows about it. It'd be really bad for us if they find out we walk around at night.
そうですねわかった
That's true. Alright. Now that sounds like someone's gonna find out that they walk around at night. Like, the way that's worded, it seems like this is the perfect, like, piece of evidence. Someone's gonna find it, and they're either gonna have to defend themselves, or they're gonna have to kill the person that found the evidence, kind of thing. This seems like too easy of a setup for what's might happen. She spread some water again, then put the ladle back and took the flashlight. Oh yeah, for some reason she was like, I guess part of the thing, they had to drench themselves with water. It is what it is.
代わりに時々撒いてください
You spread the water now. You do it. She led me through the dark path. I could barely see anything, but I did sense something bestial in the darkness. It was clearly hostile toward us, and several of them were surrounding us from a distance. However, they didn't come any closer. They also backed away if I spread some water. The flashlight could barely make it through the mist, so it didn't help to see anything in the distance. It was pretty useless, to be honest, but Haru-chan seemed to like it. She also swung it around like a sword. Or rather, a lightsaber. What were these bringers of the corruption, anyway? Actual Japanese wolves, perhaps? Every now and then, I saw eyes light up in the mist. Besides that, I also heard growls and the sounds of something stepping in the sand. Dogs, right? That had to be it. Yasumisu was completely full of dogs right now. Got the dogs in him. That expression made it seem adorable. But, seriously? No way. If my assumption was right, the situation was way scarier than some simple supernatural phenomenon. I continued spreading water, too much of it, all the way there.
久石さん
Oh shit, Fusashi-san. A wolf of the same stature as Kaori-san stood up from the chair in the dining hall. It was very surreal.
久石です。香織さん。
Look at Sorry, I'm getting stuffy all of a sudden. Start reading and I'm like, allergies or something. Yes, I'm Fusaishi. You're Kaori-san, right?
ちょっと心配したわ
Yes, I was a bit worried.
もう着替えてて出るところだったみたい
By the time I came, he'd already changed and was about to leave.
差し支えなかった
You didn't have any problems?
ええ。 なんとか。香織さんも段取りはご承知だったのですか？
Not really. Did you also know how all this works?
ええ、どうしてか分かっていたわ。
Yes. I have no idea why, but I just knew it.
不思議だけど、あの時新内様にそう伺ってから。
It's strange, but it probably had something to do with what Shinai-sama said.
あれ、3人いましたよね。新内様って3人いるんですか？
There were 3 of him, right? Is it supposed to be like that?
それはよくわからないけれど。
I don't know.
昼記者の人が言ってたでしょ。新内様は狼様だって。だから3人いたんじゃないんですか？
The journalist said that Shinai-sama was Okami-sama. Maybe that's why we had 3 of them.
私らは狼様から直接加護を授かったってこと。
That means that there are guardians, one for each of us.
それで君らは納得するんだ。
That's good enough for you?
だって見たじゃないですか。
I mean, you saw them, right? Right. That strange experience did actually seem supernatural. People tend to accept anything they could see.
では行きましょうか。
Then, shall we go?
どこにです？
Huh? Where?
殺しに。
To kill. Wait, what?
香織さん、誰殺すか決めないと。
We have to decide who to kill first.
ああ、そうだったわ。つい気が流行っちゃって。
Oh, that's true. I guess I'm in a bit of a rush.
今日の宴の感じ見たらやっぱおじいちゃんじゃないかな。
Looking at today's feast, Oji-chan is probably the best choice.
匠さんも危ないと思うわ。
I think Takumi-san is pretty dangerous too.
待ってください。2人とも本気ですか？
Wait, are you too serious?
何が？
About what?
肉親を殺すんだぞ。あんた、息子のことが惜しくないのか？
You'll have to kill your family. Aren't your sons important to you? She twitched and tilted in an unnatural way. Oh, wonderful.
知ってるわ。知ってますとも。
I know that.
惜しくないわけがないでしょ。でも仕方ないじゃない。新内様の言う通りにしなきゃ。
Of course they're important to me, but I have no choice. I must do as Shinai-sama says.
香織さん、
Kaori-san.
君もだ、はるちゃん。安永くんやモッチーのことを殺していいのか？
You too, Haru-chan? Do you really want to kill Yasunaga-kun and Mochi?
それは嫌だけど。
Well, I don't, but
じゃあどうすればいいのよ。3人で逃げ出すとでも？
what else can we do, though? Run away from here? That really wasn't the way to go. We'd get lost or killed by the monsters. The mist would just send me back to square one. All I could do here was pick one or the other. Oh, massacre, kill no one, or 17 and 18. Let me think. Massacre or kill no one. I would say, and this key's 17 and 18. I bet this almost seems like we're going to get key 17 and key 18 from both of these, right? And then we'll get a third option. That's kind of how this feels like, right? At some point. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. Maybe I'm trying to guess too much about the game. But I think that that's probably what's going to happen here. But if I had to pick one, they both seem like they're both going to be losing propositions, especially with a branch, right? If I was him, I would probably say kill no one as my best choice. So I will pick massacre first, assuming it because it's the option I wouldn't want to pick. And we'll see what happens. Massacre time.
僕らは狼だ。狼は読み人を皆殺しにしなきゃならない。
We're wolves. Wolves must kill the Yomibito.
結局そうでしょ。
Yeah, that's what I've been saying.
僕はいい。あなたたちはそれでいいんだろうな。
I'm fine with it. I'm just wondering if you are.
自分の大事なものが手にかかる瞬間、背中から刺したりは本当にしないんだろうな。
You're not gonna stab me in the back if I'm about to kill someone important to you, are you?
僕はあなた方の神内明神に対する信心を疑っていません。
I don't question your faith in Great Lord Shinai.
しかし神の一声で一切の人間性を失えるほど人でなしじゃないとも思ってる。
But I don't think you're inhuman enough to throw away your humanity just because your God told you to.
もう一度問います。本当に殺しますがいいんですね。
I'll ask again. We're killing them for real. Are you sure you want to do this?
分かった。いいですよ。
Alright, I'm fine. She went and said it.
では香織さんは
What about you? Noises.
分かったわ。
Alright,
じゃあ
then my words were cut off, and so was my breathing. What?
私たちは
Uh!
自分たちで自分たちを殺すべきだったんだわ。
We have to kill ourselves. An intense heat or cold in my back.
そうすれば黄泉より落ちてあの子たちとまた会える。
Then we would rise from Yomi, and I'd get to see them again. When the sensation was pulled out of my body, I began to feel my life leave me.
そうすれば母としてあ
Then I
の子たちを手にかけずに済む。
Then I won't have to hurt my sons. I understood that she was stuck between a rock and a hard place, but I didn't expect it to be so bad that she'd resort to such drastic measures. It's like my whole screen was turning red. It was like, it's like I was getting inked in a Mario Kart race by a blooper. I collapsed forward.
はるちゃん
Now, Haru-chan,
じっとしていてね。
hold still. Traitor! That was the last thing I heard as I choked on my own blood and breathed my last. Had I chosen the wrong way to go about it? How could I have convinced her? My questions faded with my consciousness. Walking disaster is dirty. What? Yeah, walking disaster is dirty. I agree, Key. Key 17. Let's check it out. Harity. I finally become a wolf, but there must be things I can only see from this perspective. To be a wolf means murder is unavoidable. I think I'm right about the 17 and 18 keys here. To be a wolf means murder is unavoidable. After telling me that, my supposed ally, Kaori, killed me. I'm glad wolves can be virtuous, but getting killed isn't my idea of fun. What should I do? How many keys do I not have? That would be a good indicator of how deep we are into this game, probably, right? Look at all the keys we're not. All things considered, maybe I am further in this game than I thought, you know? Maybe I'm doing work. Maybe we're doing work, man. Bad ending 20. Watch hint corner. No. Squeaky chair. Oh, no, I didn't mean to click through that. Oh, that's so upsetting. Send me back into the darkness. Look at these, like, steps we're making on this thing. Boop, boop. What if we made, like, some kind of image out of the tree here at some point? I don't know what else you could make at this point, but what if? Okay, so we got key 17 here. Getting back in here. Send me back. That really wasn't the way to go. We'd get lost or killed by the monsters. The mist. Here we go. Kill no one.
殺人なんて
I think this will end in a good path,
殺
right?
すのはやめないか。
Nothing bad will happen here. We shouldn't kill. Can we just not do this? The rule was 1 kill per night. Just like with humans, that was a limit. Basically, we couldn't kill 2 or more, but there was no rule about not killing at all. Thankfully, we had the perfect situation for that.
香織さん、しっかりするんだ。これは信託でも何でもない。何かひどく悪質な陰謀です。
Get a grip, Kaori-san. This isn't something divine. It's just a terrible conspiracy.
それに従えばあなたは絶対に後悔する。あなたの体がそれを証明してしまっているでしょう。
You will regret listening to it. Your body proves it.
からだが
But body?
そんなに震えてまともに喋れなくなってまで神内明神の眷属という役割にこだわる必要はないんです。
You're shaking and can barely talk. If it's so hard for you, you don't have to force yourself to be Shinai's servant.
幸い匠さんはこちらが殺さない限り向こうも殺さないという体制を作ってくれています。
Thankfully, Takumi-san created a situation where there won't kill anyone if we don't kill first.
僕らが殺さなければ殺し合いは起こらない。
No one will have to kill anyone if we don't start it.
本当に本当なの
Really? Is that true?
ええ、互いに手を出さない限りはその間に解決策を探れるはずです。
Yes. And as long as neither side harms the other, we can find a solution to this.
もちろんこの状況で正体を明かさずに信頼関係を維持するのは並大抵のことじゃない。
Of course. It's hard to maintain mutual trust in this situation.
でも息子を殺すよりはあなたはきっと前向きに望めるんじゃないですか。
But isn't this much better for you than killing your own sons?
それはそうよもちろんだわ
That's... You're right, of course. I did it. Yasumisu's laws weren't absolute. I just proved it. Or so I thought. Ba-na-na-na. Shit. I felt a light impact on my side, and when blood started pouring out, I thought I was living out some sick joke. A moment later, my consciousness quickly began to fade, making me once again realize that death would come out of nowhere. As I collapsed on my back, my eyes met those of the smallish wolf, Haruchan. Even through the cloth, I could tell they were cold, stern, and full of disgust and hatred for powerless vermin.
やっぱりよそ者はダメだわ。
I shouldn't have expected anything from an outsider. The words are even colder than the encroaching shadow of death.
山の掟は絶対だというのに。
The mountain's laws are absolute. In her hand, she had a bloody grass sickle.
香織さんは分かってるよね。
You know that, don't you, Kaori-san? My vision soon faded completely.
兄ちゃんもよし君も私たちが楽にしてあげないといけない。
We must put Nii-chan and Yoshi-kun out of their misery. At first, I felt the taste of blood fill my mouth, but even that was gone now.
それが私らの使命だって。
That's our mission. I couldn't feel warmth or cold anymore.
いやよそんなの
No. No. I won't.
じゃあいい。死ね。
Alright. Then die. Then die! I stopped hearing whatever they were up to, and as my consciousness faded, I realized that I'd failed. Man, the wolves this time were just awful. He's like, God, why did I get paired with the shittiest wolves? Granddaughters are strong. Irrational purge key. Let's take a look. I can't just go to the bottom. I have finally become a wolf, but there must be things I can only see from this perspective. It seems the brainwashing, doesn't work on me, so we can avoid killing and try breaking the law. When I suggested that, Haru, who advocated adhering the law, purged me. Perhaps it's impossible to avoid being a killer. Well then, what do we do? I'm very curious. He says let's not. He says let's do it. Both bad outcomes. What's a wolf to do? Bad ending 21. No hint corner. Do better next time. That's what I hear in my head. Every time I die in real life, they're like, do better next time. I'm like, okay. Thank you, cartoonish wolf, or sheep. I will absolutely do better next time. Alright, so we have the two keys. What's gonna happen here? Okay, let me think. We say don't kill, bad. We say do kill, bad. What do we do? Just knock them both out? That's my official vote is he realizes he can't win by saying either or. And he just goes, you know what? I need to do my own thing. And he like swift chops them in the head or something. Knocks them both out. momentarily, and then he does his own thing. That's only that's the only path to victory I see here. Truly, that's all that could be. Trick them. Ah, a little wolf trick, of course. Of course. If I insisted on killing, the mother snapped, and if I insisted on not killing, it was the girl. That experience made it impossible for me to choose either. The locals could have at least had the decency to harbor the same kind of madness. If I continued this with little tricks, okay? What's he gonna do? What does he mean, little tricks? If I continued this with little tricks, it would lead to problems in the future. And I also wanted to find a scenario in which I didn't die. Thus, I decided to spend this timeline fulfilling the role of the wolf. Also, seemed easier to create a full fanatic out of a doubter than to correct an unwavering zealot. I'll have to make Kaori-san kill our sons. For that, I need a good story.
信じてもらえるかどうかわからないですが。
I'm not sure if you will believe me. She needed a story that can match the absurd legends.
僕はね、この村を救いに来たんです。
But I actually came here to save this village. It had to be like entertainment and seem like fiction, like something Rikako-san would like. Excuse me?
救いに来た
To save us? They lended an ear to me. I had it in the bag now.
信じられないかもしれませんが、僕にはなんというか普通の人には見えないものが少しだけ見えるんです。
You might not believe this, but I can see things most people can't.
そのせいでいろいろ面倒もありましたけどね。今はこの力を使って面倒ごとの解決を請け負う仕事をしてるんです。
This power gave me some trouble, but now I use it to solve certain problems.
じゃあ世を儚んだって話は。
Then what was that about giving up on life?
嘘です。若者が死のうとしてるって話は田舎では受けるんですよ。潜入調査が必要なことが多いんでね。
A lie? A young man seeking death has shown sympathy in rural areas. I often need to blend in on my jobs.
今回は上藤吉のとある方の依頼でここに来たんですけどね。
This time, I came on the request of someone from Kami Fujiyoshi.
誰よ長者
Who? A village head?
ええ、誰か詳しくは言いませんけどね。安水という場所に昔から怪奇現象があるから調査してくれと。
Yes. I can't say who, though. I was told to investigate the supernatural phenomenon in Yasumisu.
そこで潜入してみたら、案の定、誰も彼もが人ならぬものになり果てていた。
I infiltrated Yasumisu and, sure enough, everyone is barely human. Kaori-san gasped.
彼らにはその自覚はない。この安水という
He's
場所
bullshitting his way to
は暗
victory.
号との境界が曖昧だから、
Gotta
あな
respect
たた
it.
ちも彼らもそれに気づかない。
None of them know it. The boundary between Yasumisu and the afterlife is indistinct, so neither of you know they realize it.
だけど、一度霧が出たらもうおしまいだ。偽の平和は終わり、黄泉に落ちた人たちと争わなければならなくなった。
But now that the mist is here, the false peace is over, and now we must fight those who fell to Yomi.
それが山の神、神内明神の望み。僕らが昨晩まみえた人心浪面の神の望みのようですね。
That's what the mountain god, Great Lord Shinai, desires. Last night, we saw what the wolf-faced gods want.
どうし
What
て
God wants.
そんなことに。
Why is this happening? The truth was less important than the ties to the real story.
元より安水はそういう場所だ。ここの食べ物を食べていれば、いずれ身も心も黄泉のものになる。
That's the kind of place Yasumisu is. Anyone who eats the local food eventually becomes a part of Yomi in both mind and body.
神内明神のかつてのお守りもそうなった。かの神は霧が立つたび蘇ってくる彼らを撃退せねばならない。
That's what happened to Great Lord Shinai's guardians, too. They resurrect whenever the mist comes, and this god must defeat them every time.
それならなんでこんな回りくどいことを
Why is he being so indirect about it?
かの神がひどく弱くなっているから。
Because he's weak right now. That surprised them both.
新内様が弱い。
Shinai-sama is weak?
ええ、何しろ落ちたお守りを奉ずる四長者にこの山は支配されている。
Yes. After all, the mountain is controlled by the four head families who worship the four deceased guardians.
彼らも真相は知らないんだろうね。自分たちの祖がすでに主神を背いて黄泉におもねっているなんて。
They probably don't know it though. And they probably wouldn't believe it if you told them that their ancestors have already betrayed their god and sided with Yomi.
いずれは根本的に彼らも対処しないといけないでしょう。しかしまずは生き残らないと。
Someone will have to deal with them too, but for now, we just have to survive.
上藤吉もみんな読み人なの？
Is everyone in Kami Fujiyoshi a Yomibito too?
いや、あくまで休みずに暮らす皆だけが読み人のようだ。
No. Apparently, it's just everyone in Yasumisu.
あなたたちはその中で唯一の人間。その理由はわからないけど。
You're the only humans here. I'm not sure why though.
いや、
No, wait.
香織さん、あなたもともとここの人間じゃないですね。聖火のもっと北の土地のつながりがあなたを引き止めてる。
Kaori-san, you're not from here, are you? There's a connection pulling you to your homeland somewhere north of here.
なんでわかったの？
How did you know?
一瞬見えたんですよ。
I just saw it. That was a lie. But as someone experiencing these loops, I could easily simulate the supernatural phenomenon of knowing things before they were told to me.
じゃあ私は？
What about me?
君は
You...
君は正直言っていいか迷うな。
I honestly don't know if I should say it. Huh? I was honest this time. She'd survived going to Yasumisu 8 years ago. That alone was special enough, but would you be okay to hear it? I would just buy some time.
とりあえずこれは没収ね。
I'll take this. Thank you. I took a small, sharp grass sickle from her hand. Didn't seem like a supernatural power exactly, but I just needed to look skilled.
よそ者である僕が神内明神の掟に背くんじゃないか。もしそうなら殺さなくてはってとこかい。
You would have killed me if I, an outsider, went against Great Lord Shinai's laws, right?
どうして？
How?
荒ごとにも慣れてるからね。あと香織さんも最悪その辺の包丁で暴れてやろうかって思ってるでしょ。
I'm used to rough stuff too. Kaori-san, you also planned to go wild with that knife over there, didn't you?
そんなことないわよ。
Using bullshit loot powers to make myself seem like the coolest person ever. That's what I would do. I'm no better than him. That's not true.
いや、あなたの心の中にはそのようなこう思う鬼面の神が潜んでいます。
It is. I can see a demonic goddess who loves her children within you. What the hell was I saying? They're intently listening to me at least.
強く正しい神だが今はあなたを盲目にしている。子供たちを害したくない一心で真実から目を背けさせている。
It's a strong and righteous goddess, but you're currently blinded by her. She's keeping you from hurting your children and facing the truth.
それは
I...
外来者である僕が信頼できない気持ちはわかりますが、僕はこの通りあなたたちの味方だ。
I understand if you don't want to trust an outsider like me, but as you can see, I am your ally.
読み人にこうするためのスキルと経験もあるし、そのために最初にすべきことも分かってる。
I have the skill and experience needed to deal with the Yomibito, and know what must be done for that.
香織さん、
Kaori-san?
いやよ。あの子たちがいなければ私は
No, no. Without them,
私の人生は何だったのよ。
my life would have been meaningless.
今言うべきことじゃないのは承知してますが、
I understand that's not something I should say right now.
織部香織さん、 彼らの人生は
But-
本来あなたのものじゃない。
But their lives don't belong to you, Kari Oribe-san.
旦那さんやその他藤吉村に奪われたもの、失ったものの代替品でもない。
They aren't a replacement for what Fujiyoshi took from you and what you lost here, especially your husband.
あなたどこまで。
Just how much do you...
あなたの右肩に旦那さんがいます。ああ、吉次君によく似てらっしゃる。
Your husband is right behind your right shoulder. He's a lot like Yoshitsugu-kun, isn't he? She began crying. What? She began crying loudly. What a cliche act this was.
彼らは自分たちが黄泉に落ちたことも知らず、ただ自分
He's
た
gonna
ち
go
の
to
魂
hell
を
for this.
汚し続けています。
They don't know that they're with Yomi now, and they're unknowingly tainting their souls. I almost said tainting their taint. That's not
彼
what
ら
I'd
の
say.
魂は無言の涙を流し続けている。
Their souls are silently crying.
あなたは母親として彼らを救う義務がある。そういうふうに思うことはできませんか？
As their mother, you must rescue them. Can't you look at it that way?
あなたは生きてここを出て自分の人生を歩むべきだ。
You need to
旦那さんは
survive.
そう思ってらっしゃるようですよ。
You need to survive, leave this place, and live your own life. Your husband seems to think that too.
私はこれまでろくに母らしいこともしないで。
I haven't done anything motherly my whole life.
誰も責めはしません。
No one will blame you.
分かっていたわ。私が本当は自分のためにあの子たちを育てて縛り付けようとしているって。
I knew that I was only raising them and tying them down out of selfishness.
義継にそばで守ってもらって安永に外に連れ出してもらいたいって。
I had Yoshitsugu protect me and wished for Yasunaga to take me away from here.
私に才覚がなくてこんなところから抜け出せないからって。
I have no talents and can't leave this place on my own. I looked at Haru-chan, worried she might pull something, but she just shrugged a bit. She
私
doesn't
の
care.
せいであの子たちは変にお互いを意識して悩んでる。
It's my fault they
それ
don't.
も知ってる。
It's my fault they don't get along well.
どうすればいい
I keep
の
cutting them off. My timing is off. It's because of my headache. It's my fault they don't get along well. I know, but what could I do about it? I had no idea that Kaori-san was hiding such weakness under her motherly strength. I had to ignore my guilt over taking advantage of it.
彼らだって悪くはない。かりそめの平穏の中で安水の苦境に喘ぎながら立派に成長した。
It's not their fault either. The peace in Yasumisu was brief, but they survived and grew up to be great boys.
でももうおしまいなんです。夢が悪夢に変わる前に終わらせないと。
But that's over now. We must end all this before the dream becomes a nightmare.
誰も悪くない。誰も恨めない。これはいわば世の断りに巻き込まれた災難です。
No one's at fault. No one will hold a grudge against anyone. This is more like a natural disaster than anything else. It'd be horrible if that was true, honestly. I silently hoped that my lie wouldn't become reality. I also felt that the root of all evil for her in my story were the Higuchi. They'd sent me here after all, but I kept quiet about it. Anyway, my story seemed to have captured her completely.
一つだけ
One thing.
一つだけお願いがあるわ。
Can I ask just one thing?
何でしょ
If I traded it, oh, the one thing. That's the thing that does, when I hear one thing, it's that weird song. Just rushes into my head. What is it? I had to give her something to help her gather her resolve.
どうせやるなら早く
Who are we killing tonight? Now I'm convinced that we're not killing anyone. I think, and it's something I had thought prior, but I think Kaori and Haru are just gonna be able to be convinced by. I think I didn't think this 100% was gonna work, but I think specifically the story in the game told us that he doesn't feel the bloodlust to kill people, and I think there's a chance, maybe as foolish as it seems, I think there's a chance he's gonna be able to convince the other two that they don't need to kill anyone. And he's gonna keep trying to ride that as long as he can, so that no one kills each other. Even the hangings, like the hangings don't progress. Like that's such an important story beat. But that could just be foolish wishful thinking. If we do have to kill someone, let all my haters be killed. Nosato, Kyunosuke, he can die. Let me think. Who do I not care about? Honestly, Tai can die. Tai Yamanaki. What's her name? Tai Yamanaki. It's Yamanaki. Whatever her name is. She can die. Old man who cries wolf. He can die. Honestly, all the kids should. The interesting characters in this village are the kids. Let's be real. This village needs to become. There was a show many years ago at this point that came on called Kid Nation, where it was just some silly show where it was like kids just ran some dusty village or something. That basically needs to be what happens here. Kid Nation. That's what I'm feeling. Anyway, Kaori says, if I have to kill them, if I will. What'd she say? If I will?
早く先に
I looked at
楽
it
に
too
してあ
quick.
げたいの
If I will have to kill them. Oh, I see what she's saying. Okay. And then she says, let me do it early. Let me put them out of their misery. That wouldn't be good for us. If we made the killings personal, someone would notice. Taking out Yasunaga-kun at the start was one thing, but following it up with Yoshisugu-kun? Would she even stay sane with them gone?
でも香織さん、それは。
But that's...
いいじゃないですか、それで。
I'm fine with that. Haru-chan had just silently listened for most of my story, but now she'd made herself an obstacle? Question mark?
香織さん、そうでなきゃ私たちとは一緒にやれない？
You won't kill with us if we don't let you, right?
私はあの子たちを楽にしてあげたい
I just want to put them out of their misery.
そういうことそうだったんだわ私はそうすべき今はっきりわかった
That's it. That's always been it. I just realized it.
そうしてくれないなら私は私でそのように動くわ
If you don't let me do it, I will do it myself.
らしいけど。
See? If Kaori-san let her emotions take over and acted independently, she'd most likely put us in a terrible situation. She'd probably prepare food with aconite. Kyunosuke would notice, and she'd be hanged. That'd be of no use to us. She could also use more messy methods, but no matter what they were, they'd have minimal effect. Violence need to have perfect timing and force behind it. In that sense, Chiami's rampage last time was perfect.
あなたが市場で息子を殺すことで、あなたは間違いなく疑われるだろう。
If you make it personal and kill your sons, you would be suspected.
構わないわ私はそれでくくられて構わない
I don't mind, even if it gets me hanged.
あなたは外に出るべきだと。旦那さんも。
Your husband wants you leave. We're missing a word here, like two. Your husband wants you leave this place. I think we're missing two after you. So not my question, but I'm curious. Earlier in the story, we've talked about like now that he's looped several times and he's got the memories of his loops, he's kind of like, he has, I think, brought up the fact he's like, man, I can't guarantee that I'm going to loop again once I die again for whatever reason. So, does he... The question then begins, like, okay, sure, if he gets found out to be a wolf, or whatever the case is that really the worst thing? I mean, the only worst part to that is if he was found out to be a wolf early, because obviously he wants to go as many days as he can in, because he wants to learn as much as he can, take as much information in, and in theory, get as close as he can to Haru and learn her whole ordeal. But, like, sure, there's the bit where it's like, okay, yeah, being found out as a wolf obviously wouldn't be good. And sure, I don't know or can't guarantee I'll be resurrected again and loop again if something bad were to happen. But also, like, does he really... If ultimately it came down to some snake identifying him as a wolf, unless it was early, because again, that means you have less time getting to play the wolf, less time to learn stuff. But is it really the worst thing? Even if he got found out early, he would just be like, all right, well, I'll loop again, do the same things again. The only annoyance would be if you were like Rika from Higurashi, and you're like, I'm tired of looping, Grandpa. And then Grandpa looked at me and was, well, that's too damn bad. And then you're like, oh, I fucking do this again. But you have to do the same thing over again, but you just change like one little thing. The only thing you'd have to worry at that point is that you don't loop once. Like, something so bad were to happen, or just your loop magic runs out and you're like, I just fucked up. And now I can't solve this whole thing. I'm not coming back from death. But other than that, if you've at some point, and I don't know what tangent I'm going on at this point, but at some point you loop enough times and you're like, all right, I'm guaranteed to loop until I solve this thing. So let's see what happens if I get found out as a wolf. Let's experience a hanging. It's probably going to be brutal. It's probably not going to be fun. It won't be the funnest thing I get to experience, but maybe I learned something new. I think after, like, in life, the third or fourth loop, then I'm like, I want to see so many different permutations of all these things that could happen to me, just on the off chance that I get some key bit of info. As brutal as a hanging might be, it might just be worth it for him the next day, the next feast thing they have when they go sit down to vote about a hanging or something. He just comes out and says, hey everyone, I'm a wolf, bark, 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 hang me. And then they're like, okay, just to see what happens. Who knows? Maybe that's the last bit of information you might need to solve this whole mystery. Crack it open. Who knows? Can't rule it out. That's my opinion. Anyway, let's get back to reading. She says, your husband wants you to leave this place.
いくらあの子たちやあの人がそう願ってくれても、きっとあの子たちを手にかければ私は耐えられない。
Even if my sons or husband want it, I don't think I can bear killing them with my own hands.
僕らも困る。狼が一人減れば命が3分の1削れるも同じなんです。
It would trouble us. A single wolf's death means that a third of us would be gone. But,
ただし、
however, if
あなたの死に方を僕らに任せてくれるなら、
if you leave your death to us, then
協力しましょう。
we will help you. This was awful.
ええ、構わない。
Yes. All right. It was awful. I was awful. Yeah, you are. He realizes it. This team was awful. This team is awful. Let's be real. I talked about this. It's great that Fusashi here is the wolf. Probably gets to learn a lot, and you get to see the process of being a wolf and everything. He probably got stuck with, other than the fact that he wants to be close to Haru, he got stuck with two of the shittiest wolf teammates. Like, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, God dang it. Sign me up with someone either a lot more intelligent, not emotionally get swung around, or like at least someone cool. Like, pairing up as a wolf with Chiemi would be dope. That'd be fun. Pairing up as a wolf with Chikamochi, that's also cool. Hell, pairing up as a wolf with the old man who cries wolf would at least be fun and interesting. I got saddled with Kaori, And Haru. Upsetting. This team was awful. I agree with this statement.
今あなたの旦那さんは見えなくなり
I'm
ました
so opinionated today. I don't see your husband anymore.
あなたごめんなさい。
Dear, I'm so sorry. Crap. To Kaori-san, her sons were basically a replacement for her husband. What she wanted now was basically a forced group suicide alongside her sons. That was the compromise, the overlap between the laws of the mountain and her ego. Why were humans so hard to manipulate?
それでは今日は安永君を
Then let's start with Yasunaga-kun today.
ええ、
Yes.
春ちゃんはいいのか
Dang. Haru-chan, are you okay with it?
仕方ないじゃないですか。兄ちゃんは読み人なんだし。
Doesn't matter. Nii-chan is a Yomobito. She's like, I don't give a fuck.
はるちゃんは安永のことを好いてくれてたのでしょ。
You liked him, didn't you?
お兄ちゃんとしてね。香織さんが亡きにするって決めたならわがままは言わないよ。
Like a brother. That's it. If you want to slay him tonight, I won't be selfish about it.
いい子ね。ごめんなさいね。
What a good girl. Thank you. Everyone in Yasumisu was a good person. I wasn't, and to me, they seemed completely insane. Mamiya-san had probably felt similarly last time. That was why she died like that. And I had no intention to follow her footsteps. I decided that I would survive, and if that required me to become the best wolf, so be it. Oh, we're doing a killing. How exciting. Haru, give me that sickle. I'm taking it to fucking Yasunaga. The three of us went through the mist. The wolves parted the gray, cloudy air. Felt like I was in a plane that had flown into a cloud at night. We were careful, spreading water to keep the beasts at bay, trying not to trip or fall into the fields. Haru-chan and Kaori-san were probably just being considerate of me, though. Without me, they might have gone ahead quickly and without hesitation. Not just because they were familiar with the land, but also because they seemed just about dangerous enough. They seemed like, if they decided on it, they could march straight to their grave. We were heading to the dorm. The disgusting deal with Kaori-san left us with a few options to choose from, though getting rid of Yasunaga-kun wasn't a bad choice. He was extremely supportive of Hashimoto-san, so without him, the cameraman would lose some of his influence. And by shutting Hashimoto-san up, we would damage Mamiya-san too. I already knew Takumi-san and Kanzo-san's weaknesses multiple. I had to worry about Chiemi's hidden true nature. As for Rikako-san, honestly, I felt that if I did the same things as last time, she would side with me again. The rest weren't very influential, though. I just had to be careful that they didn't go hysterical or on a rampage. My biggest concern right now was Mochi. Mochi, the biggest X factor. It seemed entirely likely that he would know who the wolves were on gut instinct alone. Wouldn't he do something weird if he found out Haru-chan was a wolf? Though, right now, I was merely considering the kind of people they were, not the guardians they might have had. I could only hope that they'd went to Mako or the old wolf guy. That'd have made them harder to control. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Sorry. Something about Takumi-san was bugging me too.
俺はまだ死ねない。
I can't die yet.
あ、待って。一応注意。
I think I had brought this up before, how he kind of made it seem like he might have been, or have some power. Oh, wait, here's a warning. Those with Guardians should be especially careful. I can't die yet. He was attached to Yasumisu because of Tai-san and Kaori-san, and he had a sense of responsibility as a local young leader. When you consider that, him saying that he couldn't die right now didn't really make sense. That meant that he had a guardian. Yasunaga-kun had realized it too, so he jumped into the conversation, just like he had done for me last time. On the first loop, Takumi-san had revealed that he was a snake on the very first day. What if that was about to happen again? Mochi was a monkey back then, and he was one now too. Though, everything else was different. Back then, the other monkey had been Mako. However, if there were some sort of rules for deciding who would get guardians, it wasn't unlikely that they would get the same ones. If he were the snake, I'd kill him and pass myself off as his guardian. He would gain a huge advantage. It was worth considering at least.
着きましたよ、夫妻子さん。
We're here, Fusaishi-san. As I thought to myself, we arrived in front of the dorm. I could see the misty moonlight accentuating the building's outline. For whatever reason, I already smelled blood. It reminded me of Haru-chan and Kaoru-san's brutalized bodies. That sure was terrible. Those murders ridiculed and laughed at humanity to the fullest extent. I wanted to have my boundaries when it came to that, at least. That sentiment came to mind.
血だわ。
Blood. And faded as soon as Kaoru-san said that. She was pointing up the stairs to the dorm. There was blood all over the rusty metal stairs. Why? Why was this here? Whose blood was this? Did someone forget to shelter? Where was their corpse then? Visibility was as poor as ever, but I looked around for something humanoid on the ground. A few seconds later, I finally noticed that someone was standing just a few meters ahead. I gasped, and the other wolves only noticed it a few seconds later. I quickly realized that the person there was Chimi Serizawa. No, Chimi! She had something in hand. Oh, yeah, it was a sawed-off, double-barreled shotgun. Oh, she's so cool! Look at her! She's so cool. When you considered her madness, it made sense. She could totally underestimate the corruption and put herself on the line to kill all the wolves by herself. There was also worth mentioning that she had a gun, a rarity here in Japan. She stood a way better chance than Yoshisugu Uribe, whose courage only got him torn to pieces. We were only human, and that gun could instantly kill us. I hadn't predicted this. I was off guard. Right as Haru-chan and Kaoru-san squealed, she raised her arm. Honestly, I was impressed. She managed to stay unpredictable every single loop. I wouldn't have stood a chance against her if I didn't have my looping. I'm so on the train of... I said this probably so early, but to me it just makes more and more sense, more evidence we see, that I think Chiemi, at least Chiemi, is also looping. Because even here, when he talks about, like, oh, she's so unpredictable in each loop, she does something completely different. Like, in my head, like, I'm like, oh, she was doing what I was literally just saying, like, 5 or so minutes ago, where it's like each loop I would be doing just insane different things just to see the outcome, to see what I could do to, like, get the best outcome kind of thing. I'm so on the train thinking, like, I bet she is looping alongside, like, and who knows if she knows I'm looping. If I'm right, who knows if she knows I'm looping? Who knows if my character probably doesn't know. We would probably know that he knows that she thinks she's looping if he was aware. But I don't think he's aware. But my thinking is she seems like an important enough character too, where I'm like, okay. That's my guess. That's my theory I'm working on right now. But whatever. I wouldn't have stood a chance against her if I didn't have my looping. She was the Joker to me. She's the Joker. A bloody, merciless Joker. Alright, I had clearly lost this time. I had to do better next time. At that moment, her lips moved. Bang! A flash. What I saw wasn't the Reaper, but a smile lost to a crimson explosion. I mean, if I was murdered via gun, at the very least, I would hope I'd get murdered via gun by someone who is as cool as Chiemi. Let's just be real. At that moment, I wasn't able to do anything but stand in place, completely frozen. The two behind me shrieked and clutched my shoulders, but I ignored them. Chiemi. Chiemi had just committed suicide. Oh, never mind. I'm jumping to conclusions too fast. With a mischievous smile, she'd put the sawed-off shotgun in her mouth. Oh my god. And blown her head off from the jaw up. Hardcore. It was insanity. This time, she'd gone way beyond whatever I could imagine. What was this? What was this feeling of loss? Was I feeling it because I wouldn't see her ever again this loop? Was it the despair at the fact that a part of my brain was actually thinking, crap, we wasted one night's worth of murders? Or...
Haruaki-san.
Haruaki-san. Was the fact that Don't
ならないで。
Don't become. I would never be able to ask her what she'd said.
どういうことなの？ねえ、不妻子さん、知恵ねえが、知恵ねえが。
What's going on? Hey, Fusashi-san, Jenny, she just...
もう今日は殺せない。
We can't kill today. Huh?
一夜に一人の起きてもう殺せない。きっと彼女はカゴ者じゃない。
The law says that we can only kill one per night. She probably didn't have a guardian.
自ら犠牲を買って出ることで今日人の側の有用な人物が殺されることを防いだ。
By sacrificing herself, she protected the humans from losing anyone more valuable. Oh, so she just did like an Air Bud. There's no rules that say a dog can't play basketball. She just did that to us, basically. She's like, well, if I could take myself out in the presence of the wolves, that might as well have just killed. They killed me. They forced me to kill myself. They can't protection. By sacrificing us, she protected the humans from losing anyone more valuable.
おそらく彼女はただの人。おそらく自分にできる最大の貢献がこれだと判断して。
She was probably just a human, and she decided that this was the best way for her to contribute to her side. Gotta wonder, a shotgun blast would have been pretty loud. Yeah. True. My I didn't even think about that, but my guess is just, unless there's something that pops up later, I would have just guessed like, oh, it's the fucking mist magic that, like, once you're put to sleep, like, because the whole thing is like the whole ritualistic thing of like, oh, you cleanse yourself, then you go to sleep and whatever. Like, part of me thinks like they're if they're, as long as they're following the rules, right, that they're put to sleep in the mist, that like they're prevented from waking up even if there was like a loud noise or something outside somehow. That's like my headcanon, like, right now, is that like, oh, the magic that you cleanse yourself and put yourself to sleep so that the wolves can do their whatever, is that it's such a powerful sleep that like it's such a powerful sleep that like you're just whatever, you know. She was probably just a human, and she thought it was the best way for her to contribute to her side.
じゃあ今日は
Then
安永君は殺せません。
we can't kill Yasunaga-kun today.
そんな
Oh no.
仕方ないよ、香織さん。二人以上の血を流せば、あなたの望みも叶えられなくなる。
We have no choice, Carrie-san. If we kill more than one, you won't be able to fulfill your desire either.
してやられましたね。乾杯です。
She outplayed us completely. Or did she really? I felt like I still couldn't match her in cunning no matter how hard I tried. I stayed still for a decent bit, just looking at her immobile remains within the mist.
それでは手はず通りに。
Let's do what we have to.
はい。みちみち気をつけて。おやすみなさい。
Yes. Be careful where you walk. Good night. We couldn't just stand here, so for now, we returned to the dining hall and talked. My body was completely wet. Sorry. My body was completely wet, but since I'd worn the costume for so long, I'd actually began sweating, so taking off the mask was way too refreshing. Then, when it was time to return, Haruchan and I once again put on the mask and left the dining hall fully equipped. There was almost no water in the bucket by this point, but honestly, since our costumes were so wet, it wasn't likely that the bringers of corruption would attack us.
ここまででいい。そこの坂から登ったら工事現場だから。
Here's good enough. The construction site is right up that hill. Haruchan said that right in front of the dorm. Her tone was Her tone was as uncaring as always, but her words seemed to express some consideration.
大丈夫かい？あそこには。
You okay? You're gonna walk by
知恵姉の死体。
Channy's body.
ああ。君は苦手じゃないのか？
Yeah. You sure you can handle it?
苦手だけど。というか、得意だったらやばいし。
I don't think I can. It'd probably be worse if I could, though.
でも、 夜だし。
But it's night, so... So what? I didn't get her reasoning. Though, I could kind of relate to her.
じゃあ手はず通りにね。
Then, let's stick with the plan.
わかった。
Alright.
ちょっとは頼りになりそうかい？
Think you can trust me?
まあ、うん、そうかも。
Well, yeah, maybe. Was that enough to ensure that all went fine from tomorrow onwards? I was worried. But I had no choice but to keep on going.
じゃあ
Bye then. I turned around. A voice from behind stopped me. I turned back at her. She was standing there, still clad in her smallish wolf outfit. Like before, I couldn't see her face, but I felt that something was off. At the core of it was the fact that she was laughing. Haru, chill. Chill, Haru. Please. Was this the...
なんともなんともなんとも傑作。先ほどの茶番吹き出さぬよう必死でしたぞ。
My oh my, what a masterpiece. I could hardly contain my laughter when you were acting out your role.
そして信内明神が弱まっておるとは、なんと痛快、なんと面白い。
And to think you even said that great Lord Shinai was weak. How thrilling and enthralling.
神をも恐れぬとはこのことよな。
You are the very opposite of God-fearing, aren't you?
お前は
You're...
なんじゃ、得意の力とやらでカンパなさればよろしかろう。
What? Why not use the special powers you mentioned to see what I am?
方便であっても貫き通せば誠になるやもしれませぬぞ。
If you stay true to the lie, it might even become truth. Question mark, exclamation point?
お前はるちゃんなのか？それともなんだ？
Are you Haru-chan? If not, then...
狼つきなのか？
The wolf possession?
おやおやおやおやおや、貴様もつまらぬことを言いなさる。
My oh my, what a boring thing to hear from someone like you.
信内明神のやつはあの通り赤い霧の中に見られたであろう。
You saw Great Lord Shinai within the red mist, did you not?
あんなものはまやかしだ。
That was just an illusion.
まやかしであろうが目に見える。
An illusion you could see.
貴様は何を見てこられたのか？この三峡に息吹く世紀をこれほど受けて、町のお方はなお理解が及ばれぬか？
What have you seen so far? You have breathed so much of the mountain's energy, yet you still cannot comprehend it, city dweller.
神というものに
You still do not understand what God is? God?
何度落ちて何度地獄を見れば真実にたどり着けることかの。
Perhaps you will when you fall, rise and see this hell many more times.
教えてくれ。
Please tell me. Throwing away my shame and honor, I grabbed her by the shoulders and shook her. I gave her a good shake.
あんたは何者なんだ？僕は一体どうなってる？この現象の本質は一体何なんだ？
What are you? What's happening to me? What's causing this weird phenomenon?
殿方にすがられるのは悪い気もせぬが、この娘に嫌われますぞ。
I do enjoy having a gentleman rely on me so intensely, but this girl might start to hate you.
はるちゃんとは違うのか？
You're not the same person?
問われるばかりも退屈なれば、一つだけお答え申そうか。
Being questioned this much is tiring, so I'll give you only a single answer.
神は見柱おる。
There are 3 gods.
知ってる。狼様は親子3人だって話だろ？
Huh? I know that. The Okami-sama are 3 wolves. The parents and a child, right?
いびつな神
She
よ。
laughed so hard at my face. Ah, you do not understand. Great Lord Shinai is a warped god made by smashing the three with a mallet and mixing them together.
この三強にはあと二柱。
There are two more gods besides him.
まあ一柱は取るに足らぬ死に体の神であるが、
Though one of them is a worthless god that is as good as dead.
残る一柱が貴様の敵じゃ。
And the last one is your enemy. With that, she shoved my hands away.
暗く長き山のよとぎに良きお方が来られたものよの。
Looks like a fine gentleman has joined us on this dark, long evening party.
明晩またまみえようぞ。
Let us meet
町
again.
のお方。
Let us meet again tomorrow, city dweller. The girl dashed away. Okay. And disappeared into the dark mist. I didn't hear a single sound after that. Nice. Okay, I'm going to take a really quick BRB. I'm going to go get some more water and stuff. I'll be back very shortly. I'll be back in like 3 or 4 minutes. I got to get some more water. I'm struggling here. Be right back. Okay. Okay, water acquired. 5:14 Wednesday. 5:14 Wednesday. I woke up feeling an overwhelming exhaustion. It was 5 in the morning, a time when Kanza-san was already active. I wanted to sleep some more, but I couldn't let them suspect that I was a wolf based on the idea that I didn't get enough rest. Oh yeah, you would be tired. I feel like you should, if you're a wolf, you should get some, like, god buff or something that's like, you also will wake up in the morning not feeling tired, so as to not rouse any suspicion your way. After returning here last night, I changed my clothes, wiped my body, and wondered how I was supposed to hide the costume parts. In the end, I hid it under some newspaper, which was very cartoonish. If the humans found it just like that, I'd feel like the butt of some bizarre joke. A part of me did hope that it would be gone by the time I woke up, though. I also thought it would just be, he would wake up and just like it appeared, it would be gone, but I guess not. I'd gone to sleep at 2 in the morning, and sure enough, the costume was gone by the time I woke up. Well, of course it would be. If the costumes remained, you could easily find the wolves by just checking everyone's homes during the day. Last time, when I'd infiltrated Chiami's room to mess with her guns, I hadn't seen anything like this. Also, if the humans found out there was something so artificial involved in the whole wolfing business, the Yamabito side of the story, that the monsters that transformed into humans, would have been rendered unbelievable. No matter how much the locals revered Yasumisu's legends, I feel like the feast wouldn't get anywhere without the fear caused by the idea that they were dealing with something supernatural. Was the thing I'd seen the first time actually Yasunaga-kun or Tai-san wearing the wolf outfit? Doesn't look like an old lady or Yasunaga in a costume, but maybe... maybe, you know, you just didn't see it right or something. This fucking picture. I love that we get to see this picture again, though. Oh, man. That didn't seem far off the mark. The mist and the darkness made the costumes look extremely convincing. Come on, man. Come on, man. Maybe that was Great Lord Shinai himself as he appeared in the red mist that one time. According to Haru-chan, that was a god, but... forget that. What was Haru-chan herself? How did she know about my looping? It actually seemed that she knew about its cause. Wait, it actually seemed that she even knew about its cause. There we go. Possessed by the wolf, by the Okami, by the great god? There were 3 gods, and that had nothing to do with the Okami-sama being a group of 3. Question mark. Was Great Lord Shinai a tripartite god? And one of the other 2 was my enemy? What the hell is that supposed to mean? She'd given me a lot of information, but it was all vague and uncertain. Were there mysteries and legends I still didn't know about? That'd make most of my current investigation completely off the mark. Was I missing or misinterpreting something crucial about the info I already had? God. This made me want to rely on Mamiya-san, Tai-san, and Rikako-san's knowledge. But this time, I was their enemy and had to kill them all. Though, this time, Mamiya-san was in a decent state, so I'd ask her before I got rid of Yahashimoto-san. She wouldn't know the true motives behind that. Why was Chimi's face flashing through my mind every now and then? I went outside, intentionally avoided looking at the dorm, and headed to the plaza. Kanza-san and Takumi-san were already there, and they told me about Chami's death. No one else was missing. Then, all that blood was... oh well, didn't matter. As we waited in the plaza... what do you mean it doesn't matter? Okay, so let's think. I mean, assuming... who's not dead that would argue that maybe... I mean... the body was just there. Are they going to be able to see the gun, and are they going to assume... I'm trying to think. Who would they be like, oh, Chami just killed herself. That's not the wolves. Surely. But what we've seen in previous loops where, like, it was clearly like, there were deaths that then were manipulated or something, potentially, maybe, possibly, but we don't know for sure. For certain, wolves doing things and then manipulating bodies. I don't know. As we waited in the plaza, we were eventually joined by Kaori-san. She seemed a lot better than yesterday. Had her mind stabilized a bit once she'd started looking at killing her sons in a positive manner.
食事の準備をしていましょうか。
Let's prepare the food, shall we? Yes. Yesterday, we'd agreed on 5 things. We would focus on information control and gathering, as in, we would avoid having secret talks and instead try to listen in on any that the humans had. We would avoid talking about things we weren't supposed to, like the cause of Chami's death. Haru-chan would contribute to the feast once, then continue being as anti-elder and anti-outsider as possible. Well, they got a game plan. Kaori-san would declare that she would follow Yasunaga-kun's vote and do it even if he was voting for a wolf. And finally, we would fake our guardians. However, I'd be the first to act, and only from the third day onwards. The plan was focused mostly on keeping them from looking suspicious or doing something they didn't have to. I was apprehensive about trying to get them to go wild like Chami did and have them kill more humans. After all, I didn't have the trust or charisma for that. Of course, my final goal was my own survival, not theirs. There would probably be situations in which I had to use them as human shields, or just situations where it was an option. But
にはならないで。
don't become. I didn't want to become just a murderer. A situation where I, not Haru-chan or Kaori-san, was the one suspected was the best path to lead us to victory. Also, as an outsider, I had to gain their trust to make them certain I wouldn't betray them at this feast. And on top of all that, I would survive. There'd been many unexplained deaths during his turn, but there was no denial that he'd survived as a wolf. I thought about those deaths, especially Yoshisuga-kun's and Mochi's, many times so far, but I couldn't really believe that Yasunaga-kun was the one who organized them. He didn't get rid of his allies, and he stood up against Tai-san, even if not as blatantly as she had when she was human. Personally, I thought that was the right way to handle it. I had to prepare for anything while trying to make sure that all wolves survived. Anyway, I was silently preparing the food. Chop, chop, chop. By the time it was 7, everyone besides Chami had gathered in the dining hall. Yasunaga-kun's face was pale. Apparently, she'd committed suicide right in front of his room. Seeing that right after waking up certainly wasn't my idea of a good time, especially when it was the girl you liked and respected. Mochi didn't seem too fazed by her death. He was too busy helping Yasunaga-kun cope with it. As for Haru-chan,
兄ちゃん、無理しないで。この椅子座って。座布団は毛布とかいる？
Nii-chan, don't push yourself. Sit here. Do you need a cushion or a blanket?
いや、いいよ。大丈夫。
It's fine. I'm alright.
もっち、元気の出る薬草とかないかな？
Mochi, do you know any herbs that make people feel better?
おお。昼でも探すかな？
Oh, guess I'll go look for some garlic or something.
昼？嫌よ、そんな気持ち悪い。
Garlic? No, stop. She was overdoing it. Wouldn't she appear unnatural? Wasn't she supposed to act even more shocked than Yasunaga-kun? Feeling uncomfortable about this, I continued preparing the food when Takumi-san spoke up.
もうみんな知ってるだろうが、昨日死人が出た。
As you already know, someone died yesterday.
帰省してたちえみが死んだ。
Oh, that was it. I was waiting for more. It's Chiemi. Our girl died, and so soon after coming home. There was some silent noise. Kaori-san muttered Chiemi's name while I created a gloomy expression.
言った通りだったな。
Told ya.
そうか。
He
俺
would
は
love
ど
to
う
say he
も
told
奇
us.
妙だと思ってる。
You did, but I think this is weird.
あんな殺し方、人にできますかね。まるで獣のような。
Can a human kill like that? It seems animalistic. Huh? Dumbass.
どうかされたんです、堀部さん。
What's wrong, Oribe-san?
いえ、この辺で人を襲うのはイノシシかツキノワグマだけですけど、まさかそんなのまで。
Nothing. It's just that the only local wildlife that attacks people are boars and moon bears. Did something like that show up?
いや、そういうんじゃねえ。おやっさん、何か心当たりあるか？
That ain't it. You know anything, old man?
ねえ。
No. That was the end of the exchange. Had she masked her blunder well? Making the wolves say things that only they could know was a good way for the humans to find them out. Mochi had fallen for it last time, and there was no guarantee I wouldn't slip up while I talked. I had to make sure I didn't fall into the same situation as she did. But beasts? Badgers? Was her body attacked by the bringers of corruption afterwards?
一応写真は撮ったのですけどね。
I did take a photo.
繰り返すが、外に出るとき消せよ、おっさん。
I'll say it again. Delete it before you leave.
ええ、それが必要なら。とりあえず必要があればどうぞ。ただ、繊細な方はおすすめしませんよ。食事前だし。
If that's necessary, if you wish to see it, go ahead. I don't recommend it to sensitive people. We're about to eat, after all.
絶対やめた方がいいです。
I really don't think any of you should look. You could tell by her expression that she'd seen it. She looked like she wouldn't touch food the whole day. Whether we looked or not didn't affect our chances of being found out, so I just raised my hand. Me too! He and I were the only ones who looked at it. The others surely believed looking at it would do no good. I took a look at the back monitor of Hashimoto-san's camera, an expensive digital eye model from just last year. Yeah, it was completely different from what I'd seen. It was actually pretty close to the results of the corruption I'd seen in the previous feasts. It was a mound of chewed and torn up meat and bones. It made me nauseous, or at least I acted like it did. I was used to it at this point. Gross.
ひどいな。
That's
どうぞ。
That's awful. Oh no, this.
狼じゃないの。
Isn't Wolf. He'd actually said something other than the wolf is coming and even asked something. In response, Kanza-san just grunted, clearly displeased. He wanted to use this as evidence to hang the wolves in the feast, but there were some problems. One of them was that Chiemi seemed to have died to the corruption. Didn't make sense.
じいちゃんは汚れを受けてしもうた。
Ji-chan received the corruption.
はい。これは物意味の金を破られたのでしょう。
Yes, it appears that she had broken the law of sheltering.
でもチエ姉がそれを知らないわけないでしょ。チエ姉もお話は怖がってたんだから。
But there's no way Chieni couldn't have known that. She was scared of the stories too.
はい。どうしてこんなことに。
Indeed. How did this happen?
僕に用があったのかな。だから僕の部屋の前に。
Did she have some business with me? Was that why she was standing in front of my room?
思い当たる件は
Anything come to mind?
何も。
Anything come to
なん
mind?
なら避けられてると思ってたし。
Nothing. It even felt like she'd been avoiding me. What? Was the idea that she'd committed suicide about to be glossed over? Was it because they didn't find the gun? That would be... Lying right now would be dangerous.
とにかく予想もしてねえことだ。飯食ったら片付けてその後どうするか相談しねえと。
Anyway, we didn't expect this. Let's eat, clean her up, then talk about what to do next.
待ってください。私専門家じゃありませんけど、現場保存ってものがあるんじゃ。
Wait, I'm not an expert, but shouldn't we preserve the scene of the crime?
片付けないと不都合があるのですか？
Would it be bad to not clean it up?
俺らの感覚じゃな。犯人探しより今そこに転がってる死体を片付ける方がずっと大事なんだよ。
To us, it's way more important to get rid of the corpse in front of us than finding whoever did it.
なるほど。
I see.
橋本さん。
Hashimoto-san.
言う通りにしよう。ああ、ムロさんと牧島さんがその片付けをなさるんですか？
Let's just listen to them. Oh, will the cleanup be done by Muro-san and Makishima-san?
ああ。
Yeah.
じゃあ僕と Q ちゃんで食堂周辺を見回っていましょう。 皆さんは食堂からあまり遠くに出ないようにする。
Then Kyo-chan and I will watch the dining hall surroundings. The rest of you, try not to wander too far away from here.
その方がよくありませんか？
Isn't that for the best?
おやっさん、どう思う？
What do you think, old man?
でけえの猿だったな、お前。
You're the monkey, aren't you?
ええ。
Yes.
見回りは任せる。何でもいいから獲物持ってけ。
I'll leave the patrolling to you. Bring whatever bites.
なるほど。わかりました。
I see. Very well. Hashimoto-san pointed out the necessity for patrols, came out as a reliable volunteer, and became even more trustworthy. On the other hand, he was giving himself away to talk to Mamiya-san in secret. Was it his way of separating her, whose identity wasn't confirmed yet, from the rest of the group? I had to calm down. The first part of his move was obviously great, but I wasn't sure about the second one. Hashimoto-san was an active player, but I couldn't tell which of his actions were intentional and which were coincidence.
というわけで、食べられる人は朝ごはんを食べた方がいいでしょうね。僕はいただきたいな。いいですか？
So, anyone who can eat should do just that. I would like to have some too. May I?
はい、もちろん。
Gotta eat.
たくみさんも大丈夫ですか？
Ah, yes, certainly. Would you like some too, Takumi-san?
おう。かおりさん、もちろんいただくよ。
Yeah, of course I'll have some.
本当に食べて大丈夫なのかね？
Can we really eat this? He had to say that now of all times.
ああ？てめえ何が言いて？
Huh? How are you saying?
私も別に不要な気遣いをしたくてしているわけではないがね。
I'm not trying to be needlessly considerate.
実際に人が死んだ。迷信に従って。そんな状況だからこそ、迷信ではなく、適切な疑念を持つべきだ。違うかね？
Someone died today. Because of superstition at that. That's why I believe we should throw away superstition and act appropriately.
何言ってんだてめえ、あ？まさかババアを疑ってんじゃねえだろうな。
The hell are you talking about? You suspecting the hag? Oh, I hit the wrong button. Got scared.
まあ、
Just trying to drink water as well. Hello, hello. Hiya papaya. Hello papello. Hello papello. So I'm going to start saying in response. A phrase that makes no sense. From me. Oh dear. Unlike how he was so far, Kinosuke spoke those words without any sarcasm. Had he read the mood and chosen to become the resentful but not wrong kind of character? No, he wasn't that considerate.
義継やめろ。野里さんは今回正しい。
Yoshisugu, stop. Nosato-san isn't wrong this time.
へばってんなら兄貴は黙ってろや。
If you're gonna mope around, then shut up. Damn. Where are we in the story? We are at the point where we are a wolf with Haru and Kaori. And we had our first night of skulking around as a wolf in our wolf garb.
母さん、味見はしたよね。
Mom, you tasted it, right? Something wasn't right here. Why was everyone so sharp so early in the game?
ええ、もちろん。
Of course. Good. Kara-san understood what they meant.
でも、もう一度いただいた方が良さそうね。
But I think I should try again. Nice. Good job.
いえ、僕がいただきます。
No, I'll try it this time. This was my time. Everyone wanted to suspect me over anyone else, so I had to eat before they did. That was the only way to make them understand that I, didn't add any poison to the food. Unfortunately for them, we weren't pulling anything like that this time. Eat that food. I tasted the food, then gave everyone a show of me re-washing the dishes, making them finally agree that the food was safe. We then had breakfast. Mamiya-san and Yasunagi-kun refused, while Haru-chan ate quite a lot, actually. And then Takumi-san and Kanzo-san left the dining hall.
それじゃ 僕はこの周りをぐるぐる回って警戒しておきますね。
Alright, I'll walk around and keep watch.
危険な獣がいるかも
I
し
love
れ
this
な
guy.
いから、
I love Hashimoto
こ
more and
こを
more.
離れない方がいいけど、閉じこもってばかりも体に毒だ。
There might be dangerous beasts here, so you should stay inside as much as you can, but shutting yourselves in isn't good either.
声の届く範囲で自由時間にしましょ
Consider this free time, but don't go where you can't hear anyone.
私も行くんですよね。
I'm supposed to go too, right?
う。他に誰か行くかい？
Anyone else want to come?
うん。じゃあ、僕らだけで行こう。
Okay, then it's just the two of us. I didn't understand what his final words meant. What if accepting the offer was the right choice?
片付けましょうか。
Let's clean up.
ええ。
Okay. This was my job, so this was the right thing for me to do. Right? By the time we finished cleaning up, only 5 people were left in the dining hall.
何もしない大権限。何もしない大権限。
Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass.
メイコ、髪が跳ねています。おいで。ついてあげますから。
Mako, your hair's a mess. Come, I shall comb it.
いや、いらない。
No! Don't wanna!
うっせえ。
Shut up. Tai-san was in her praying mode. Kako-san was busy caring for Mako, who seemed in a foul mood. Kinosuke-san seemed to want to call out to her, while Yoshisuga-kun just seemed pissed. The journos were outside, while Takumi-san, who'd returned for a moment, had left once again.
おやっさん、外の方を見て回るってよ。宴は昼過ぎにしようってことだが、なんかあるか？
Old man said he's gonna widen his patrol range. Basically said we're doing the feast in the afternoon. Got anything against that? No, I do. No, I don't. At least I don't think I do. I have ideas, but... just like yesterday, no one argued. People needed reasons to not follow an already established process. Yasunagi-kun was the one who'd point that out, and...
わかったよ、匠に。
Alright, Takumi. He looked really drained.
ちっと話すか、ヤス。
Wanna talk, Yasu?
え
Huh?
春、近持ち。ちょっとヤス借りるぞ。久石、香織さん。ちょっと俺んちまで戻ってくる。
Haru, Chikamochi, I'm borrowing him. Kusaishi, Kari-san, I'm going back to my place.
あ、了解です。
Alright.
すみません。お気遣いを。
Sorry you have to be so considerate of him.
そんなんじゃねえさ。大丈夫か？
It ain't that. You okay?
うん。大丈夫。
Yeah, I'm fine.
バカ野郎昨日ああやって覚悟決めたんじゃねえかよ兄貴
Haneke, you dumbass! Did you forget? You were prepared for this shit yesterday.
よし。誰にだって弱
How
みっての
considerate
があん
of
だ。
him.
お前だって母ちゃんがいなくなったら。
Yoshi, everyone has weaknesses. If your mom was gone, you'd also...
いや、縁起でもねえ。忘れてくれ、香織さんも。
No, that's way too dark. Forget I said that. You too, Kara-san.
いいえ、私が言わなきゃならないことでした。
No, I was the one who had to say that.
俺は
俺は覚悟してる。
I'm ready. Takumi-san and Yasunagi-kun left.
はるちゃん、その辺でなんか積もっか。
Haru-chan, let's go grab something nearby.
あ、うん。
Huh? Oh, okay.
霧が怖かったりしない？
You're not scared of the mist?
うん。もう平気よ。
Yeah, I got used to it. Haru-chan, acting as weird as always, left alongside Mochi. This situation was clearly set up by Hashimoto-san. Everyone split up and we're free to have secret talks. What was the purpose of this? Was I just overthinking it? Were they just taking the opportunity given to them with no ulterior motives whatsoever?
ひとまずこれでよし。
That's...
サイさんも休んでらっしゃい。まだお昼までは時間あるし。
That's enough for now. Fusaishi-san, go have a rest. There's still time until noon.
休んでか。じゃあ僕もちょっと外に出てみましょうか。
A rest. Guess I'll go outside then.
みんな出て行ってしもうて。黄泉の霧は汚れの元なのにね。
If I was being real, if I could just be real for like a minute here, Tai Yamawaki is probably my least favorite character in this whole game. And that's saying something, because everyone knows my established hate for our main protagonist as well. I just think Tai brings almost absolutely nothing to this game or story other than I'm an old lady who is long steeped in this tradition of this village, and then I'm just gonna walk around and just be that old lady like that. I know that's gonna make me sound like a hater, but damn, she just does not bring anything to me. She just exists, and if she dies early, I'm like, it's fine. It's fine, we're not losing much. In my head, I'm like, it's fine. It's a nothing. Whatever. Everyone left. Don't they know that Yomi's mist is where corruption comes from?
ええ。だからちょっとみんなが心配で見てきます。
There's that too. I'm kind of worried, so I'll have a look. Now, how would a good how would a good wolf spend this strange time? I couldn't think of anything. Was I a dumbass? Well, I did have some ideas, but they all seemed like bad moves. Traps, basically. Could I eavesdrop on someone's secret chats? It'd work when it was dark, but during the day, you could see anyone with within a whopping few meters. Could I just join one of their conversations? Wasn't it best to just avoid secret chats in the first place? Was it normal for wolves to be so paranoid? A part of me couldn't help but suspect that Mochi or Hashimoto-san was hiding in this mist. I couldn't see or hear anyone, so my brain perceived this world as empty. Before the unease and loneliness took over, such situations made you feel all powerful. No one would blame me for anything I did. I could lay down in the road, go commando, shout out that I was a wolf, but all of that was just an illusion. Was this also some sort of trap to get a wolf to do something stupid? Or was this some sort of filter that caught those so paranoid that they actually believed stuff like that? Ugh, crap. I wanted to just scream and run around. I wanted to do something no one could predict. I looked up to the sky. And suddenly, the ground vanished beneath my feet. Huh? What do you mean? What? Oh, okay. I took that as a literal thing. I took that as, like, literally the ground disappeared, but I think he was probably walking and then took a step where there was no ground. I was thinking, like, oh, like, literally, I thought, okay, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I thought for a second we were about to enter some weird parallel thing, like the Matrix was breaking around him or something. Like, I thought, like, I thought the game was gonna, my mind rushed to the weirdest thing possible for a second, where, like, the village is breaking down and, like, it's all a simulation of some kind. Like, that's where my brain immediately rushed to for a minute. And I was like, oh, wait, chill. It's probably just he took a step where there was no ground. My mind rushed to the weirdest of possibilities, though. I gotta be honest. Ow. Basically, I'd walked over a small cliff. Since I was unstable and fell feet first, I'd ended up hitting my legs, ass, back, and head on the ground below. Even if there was no feast, someone could actually die in the mist by accident, and I now knew that better than ever. As I tried to get up, I felt an intense pain in my leg. Crap, it's twisted. This was so stupid. Also, the area below the plaza was clearly out of bounds, so I was breaking the rules here. Though this was an accident I hadn't planned myself, so I probably wouldn't draw any more suspicion than I already had. As I stood up.
何しとる兄ちゃん
What are you doing? I heard a voice behind my right side, and along with it, something metallic. I instantly raised my hands, but the pain that came over me made me groan. Ow. Ow, ow. Ow, ow, ow. What the fucking insert like grape lady falls down noises. Ow, 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 ooh, ooh. I cracked myself up. I nearly fell to my knees out of pain, but I was afraid that he wouldn't tolerate any sudden movements, so I just slightly bent my body.
落ちたか
Bell?
はい
Yes?
ひねったか
Twisted it?
はいすみませんどうしよう
Yes. Sorry. That was clumsy of me. Another metallic sound, followed by a few different ones. I had no idea what they meant, so I just became more tense.
弾抜いた安心せえ
I took out the bullets. It's fine. I slowly turned to the right. Kanzo-san now had his gun over his shoulder, not ready to fire. That let me finally relax, but my leg still hurt. I might have sprained it.
歩けんか
Can you walk?
少し休めば
After a little rest.
左か
Left side?
ええ
Yes.
どれ
Here. To my surprise, he rested the gun in a more comfortable position, then came up to me, crouched, and lent me his shoulder. Oh, nice old man. He seemed much shorter than me, but that was probably an illusion caused by his posture. We were probably about equal in height. Also, his body was a whole lot more solid than mine. Every part touching me seemed to be covered in hard muscle. I wasn't too fond of the idea of being punched by this beast. Now that I thought about it, all the wolves so far were physical weaklings. Yeah, they even needed guns to make it through direct confrontation during the day.
すみません迷惑を
Sorry for the trouble.
慣れてねえならおとなしくしとれ
If you're not used to it, don't do it.
はい
Okay.
お前狼は誰だと思う
Who do you think are the wolves? This wasn't like him either. He really didn't seem like the type of person to ask that kind of thing here, of all places, and from the person he trusted least. Why is he asking me that question?
皆さんから見れば僕なんじゃないですかこんな時に外から来て素性も知れなくて
From everyone's perspective, it's me. I came at such a suspicious time. You all know nothing about me.
てめえがうさんくさいのと狼かどうかは関係ねえ
You're shady, but that's got nothing to do with being a wolf. A considerate response from him? Something wasn't right here. It's not the real him. He's changed. It's body snatcher. What was I to do here? Got it. Oh, keys 3 and 20. Are those both keys I don't have? I'm really curious. I gotta check. 320? I guess they would be lit up if I had them, right? 3 and 20 I definitely don't have. Okay. Talk about Haru's love life. What the fuck kind of option is this? I didn't see that. Why are we talking about Haru's love life to him of all people? Oh, this is gonna be a weird choice, isn't it? All right. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's not weird. Maybe.
Haru-chan.
Oh, Haru-chan. The moment I said that, he stopped walking. It made me put more weight over my left leg, making me groan in pain.
ハルがどうした
What about her? His grip seemed to become naturally stronger.
いえ昨日あれだけ霧に怯えてたのに今日はらしくないとは思いましたけど
Well, she was really afraid of the mist yesterday, but now she's not. It doesn't seem like her.
しょうもない
Nonsense.
そうなんです
So it is like her.
女いうもんは男と子のためならこだわりを捨てる
If it's for men and children, women throw away their hang-ups. For a moment, that sounded like sexism, but then I realized it could be interpreted as criticism of men who often clung to their biases no matter what. Yeah, it's not misogyny, it's anti-man, of course. The men are the bad things. So true, Haruaki. Especially you. That aside, analyzing his words made it clear that Haruchan's change was because of a man.
Ah, Yasunaga-kun desu ka?
Oh, Yasunaga-kun.
Haru-chan wa Yasunaga-kun ga suki nan deshou ka?
Does she like him?
Mina, so you toru.
Everyone's saying that. Everyone, huh? That was the countryside for you. Love stories had nowhere to hide. Poor Haru-chan.
でも安永君は千恵美ちゃんが死んでショックなようでした。
But Yasunaga-kun was very shocked that Chiemi-chan died.
若いもんのすいたキロータは面倒なもんよ。いつの時代も変わらん。
Young hates and loves are a bunch of trouble. That never changes. I think I've changed his voice again. But whatever. He resumed walking. Basically, he was wary of any suspicions directed to his granddaughter because of some worthless, childish soap opera stuff. I could totally understand. The truth was that she was actually a wolf, and she was acting like that because she was overdoing the plan I'd set up, so the suspicions were completely right. In other words, those suspicions could fade even quicker if someone presented an even simpler story as an alternative. Hmm?
実は僕も千恵美ちゃんのことが少し好きになり始めてたんです。
No, man. I actually was kind of falling for Chiemi-chan too.
霧が出る前ですけど、彼女に今お相手はいるのかって聞いたんですけど、どうやらいると。
Before the mist came, I asked her if she was seeing someone, and she said that she was.
で、当然外の町の方にいるのかと聞いたら、そこは濁されて。
I then asked if he was in some other town, but her answer wasn't clear. This is definitely the conversation I love to have with the village gruff old man. I love talking about relationship gossip. It is my favorite pastime.
ただ、どうやら相手に二股をかけられてるから別れようかなとか言ってまして。
But she also said that he was cheating on her, so she was thinking of breaking up with him. What a sudden change.
本当か?
That true? He gripped my arm really hard, and I, grimacing at the pain in my leg, looked straight into his wrinkly face.
Oi!
Hey!
聞いたかどうかなら本当です。ただ、彼女が本当のことを言っていたかは知りませんよ。
It's true that she told me that, but I don't know if she was telling the truth.
それに、彼のこととはわかりません。違うかもだし。
Also, I don't know who the boyfriend is. Could be someone else. After looking at nothing in particular, he turned away from me.
安永君はいい子だと思いますよ。
I do think Yasunaga-kun is a good kid. He didn't give any sort of response. Alright. I just sown the seeds of malice. The seeds have been planted. With apologies to Chiemi. Once I returned to the dining hall, Tai-san took a look at my injury.
じゃから外に出ん方がええって言ったのに。
We told you not to go outside, foolish child.
すみません。本当に危ないですね。もうずっとおとなしくしておきます。
I'm sorry. It really is dangerous. I'll just stay put now.
それがええわよ。
As you should. Tai-san brought a hand towel from the counter and skillfully bandaged my leg. She'd even put some weird leaves on my skin. Apparently, they helped with sprains like this. She then took a wet towel in a plastic bag and applied it to the wound. It was a substitute for ice, and it worked better than you'd think. Despite this being a medical matter, Kinosuke refused to get involved. Orthopedics weren't his specialty, apparently. Yeah, fuck him. Just help. To help. The empty pride he displayed when saying that actually calmed me down. It was very like him.
お怪我は胸が痛みますが、大事がなくて何よりでした。
It pains me to see you injured like this, but I am glad that it does not seem so bad.
すみません。ご心配をおかけして。
Sorry for worrying you.
ねえ、ふさゆきさん、骨折？
Did you break your leg?
難しい言葉を知ってるね。でもこれは捻挫。
So, you know what broken bones are, huh? Anyway, no, I sprained it.
前座
Sprained?
ねんざ
Sprained. Sprained?
でら
Strained? Was I that bad at talking?
痛いの
Is she that stupid? Is she stupid? Does it hurt?
すごく痛いよ。
Yeah, a lot.
天罰ね
It's a punishment. Punishment? Did I hear that right? Oh no. Already, immediately, my radar would be like, oh shit, she's the fucking snake, and she knows I'm a wolf. Uh-oh. Sound the alarms. She must die. Kill her immediately. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Did I hear that right?
不佐行さんに天罰悪いことしたから
It's a punishment. You did something very bad.
濡れ衣だ。どうしたんです今日。
He starts getting like really defensive, and he's like, "Shut up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Don't say anything!" So he starts like covering her mouth. Stop! Like unusually like defensive. No, I didn't. What's gotten into you today?
すみません今日はどうしてか
Shut the fuck up, Mako.
ずっと
Don't say anything.
こんな調子で
I am sorry. I do not know why, but she has been like this all day long. Oh, we're in trouble. She really did seem like she was in a bad mood. Had she seen something? I was worried for a moment, but Mako didn't say anything more. She just continued being sulky. What was her deal? Oh. Oh no. Eventually, everyone returned, and this ended up being nothing major. My injury was actually the biggest event. And it's interesting, because it's one of two things. Either I'm on the dot, and I'm so correct, or the game wants me to think that, and it's going to be completely different, right? But whatever the case is, it's interesting that earlier, just like, I don't know, like 20 or so minutes ago or something, he was like, oh, it'd be best if like the guardians were given to someone like Mako or the old man who cries wolf, because they're the worst. Like they would be they would be the least problem, right? Seemingly just because of who they are. But it's funny that it might come back to bite him, and like maybe she is the snake, and she's got, you know, Rikako helping her or whatever, and they know he's a big bad wolf. Anyway, eventually everyone returned, and this ended up being nothing major. My injury was actually the biggest event. Some were worried, some picked on me, and some scolded me for not being careful. The reactions were varied, but it didn't look like anyone suspected me because of it. Yasunaga-kun was in a better mood today. When Haruchan and Mochi brought some foraged goods, he thanked them with a smile. There was debate about whether we'd actually eat the stuff. Taison said something about the corrupt mist. Kinosuke considered the possibility of there being poison plants, etc. Oh, the chopping ASMR's back. We chopped it all up, put some sauce on it, and the volunteers, the children, Hashimoto-san, and the industrious food critic, Mamiya-san, ate up. Nothing happened, of course. Because of my injury, no one wanted to go outside anymore. An hour after lunch, Kanzo-san said it was time, and we began the feast. Let's go. Drink more. It'll hurt less. Half grinning in response, I drank more of the divine sake than usual. As far as I knew, though, alcohol wasn't good for you when you were injured. It's fine. Just drink it. Thus, the feast started.
やっぱりまず知恵みについて考えたい。なんであんなことになった？安永、考えはあるか？
First of all, let's talk about Chiemi. What happened to her? Got anything, Yasunaga? Also, with seating arrangement here, we see Mako sits right next to Haraki. If she starts saying that, if she starts accusing me as being a wolf, I'm not all for punching kids or anything, but you might as well just take a swing at her. I'm sorry. Let's continue. Takumi-san started out by giving the lead to Yasunaga-kun, who readily accepted it. They'd probably decided on this during their secret talk. He gave several ideas. Chami could have accidentally wandered outside on some errand. She also could have not returned home for some reason. And lastly, Chami could have been killed by wolves who wanted to make it look like the corruption did it. That was when Takumi-san mentioned that you couldn't stay awake even if you wanted to, and Yoshisuga-kun vouched for that. That was when Takumi-san mentioned that you couldn't stay awake even if you wanted to, and Yoshisuga-kun vouched for that. So that makes me think that that's why they wouldn't be able to like hear the gun or anything. Like, it's just a powerful sleep. With that, everyone agreed that it was unlikely that she'd accidentally gone outside. Their talk was similar to the one we'd had when talking about Mamiya-san's death last time. However, unlike this time, it had been a given that Mamiya-san had returned to her room once, so we'd reached the conclusion that she, a person who didn't end up sleeping, was a wolf. The idea that Chami didn't return back home to begin with had me forming a certain theory. According to Chami from the first loop, you could be outside until 8 in the evening. Yesterday, I'd woken up at about 10 p.m., meaning that anyone in the rooms between 8 and 10 p.m. would go to sleep. Or rather, be forced into sleep. That was when the wolves would be woken up, get in the wolf outfit they were given during the night, and do their deeds. From what I could tell, the humans would stay asleep. That was why they were always killed without putting up a fight. After that, the wolves would return to After that, the wolves would return to their homes and be forced to sleep again. Then, the wolf outfit would be picked up and they would wake up the following morning. The Feast of the Yomi Purge wouldn't work without the sleep function. However, I knew for a fact that people could die by just being outside their rooms. The first time, it happened to Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san, who'd wanted to spend the night in their van, while Yoshisuga-kun was torn apart because of his own recklessness. Last time, if you excluded Mamiya-san, a wolf, Yoshisuga-kun suggested going outside right after everyone went to bed. The first time, he'd probably gone outside long before everyone was forced to sleep. Basically, if you were in a room at a certain time, you'd be forced to go to sleep. That was probably the true meaning behind the shelter taboo. It was just a prerequisite for the main factor in controlling the feast, dreaming, or in other words, sleeping. That was why those who didn't shelter would be eliminated by the bringers of corruption. Looking at it that way, I felt I could see the cunning, logical truth behind Great Lord Shinai. Anyway, the main matter right now was Chami. I had no idea how she could survive outside until she committed suicide, but I would just assume she did. I also didn't know if she was waiting for the wolves or just happened to encounter us when we went to the dorm. However, it was clear that she'd been outside the whole time. Yasunaga-kun also believed that and said so to everyone. His own idea, that it was actually a murder made to look like a rule violation, was dismissed because Chami's futon wasn't even spread out in her room. That meant that she hadn't even intended to dream last night.
つまりやっすんは理由はよくわかんないけど、知恵姉が死んだのは事故みたいなもんで。
So you're saying that you don't know why, but Chienie's death was like an accident?
狼は誰も殺してないってことを言いたいのかな?
And that the wolves still haven't killed anyone, right? Yes. After Yasunaga-kun explained his position, Mochi interjected. He was a passive participant, but really good at it. Most of his few words were on the mark. He was also the monkey, so no one had to worry about him trying to mislead people. Damn monkey power. So, you're saying that the wolves themselves hesitated to kill? That's what I think. That misinterpretation was actually good for us. Though we didn't plan for it, we got rid of a human, and there wouldn't be a hanging today as a retaliation. At least, a part of me hopes so. Over Kanzo's dead body, are we not gonna hang someone this time? I don't think so. Kanzo-san argued against it. Of course. Why? It's too good for the wolves. Sharp. I see where you're coming from, but we must know what really happened to Chami before we can say that. It's the other way around. Say it, Yasu. Huh?
通は狼の仕業じゃ。そうでないならはっきりと示さんか。
Someone died at night. Normally, it's the wolves doing. Just say it.
でもあれは汚れだとタイバーや狼じじいも言ってたじゃないですか。
But Taiba and the old wolfman said that it was the corruption.
私はそう思ったがね。でも難しいことは。
That's what I thought. But it's difficult.
狼が来る。
The wolf is coming!
こんなもんで確証になるか。
Ain't good enough for me.
じゃあ知恵姉が布団を敷いてなかったのはどう説明するんですか？
Then, how do you explain why Chieni's futon wasn't spread out?
大したことじゃね
It doesn't matter much.
大したことですよ。
Yes, it does.
え。てめえ、ヤス、ちょっと黙れ。
Yasu, shut up. Kanzo-san's words were full of irritation, if not anger. It brought a change to everyone's expressions. I was the only one who could see this rationally. After all, I was the one who caused this. I presented him with an unproven personal matter between me and a deceased girl, maliciously giving him several ways to view it. One of them led to the conclusion that Yasunagi-kun was a dirty cheater who played both Chiemi and Haruchan. I led Kanzo-san to that convenient idea without putting myself at any risk. God, he's weaponizing gossip! I wasn't expecting us to avoid today's lynching to begin with. Thus, I would instead gain their trust by just leading them to the truth.
もう一つ可能性があります。
There's another possibility.
ちえみちゃんが自殺をした可能性です。
Chiemi-chan could have committed suicide. The idea shocked everyone, but it was actually easy to explain. It was true after all. Someone who'd commit suicide wouldn't prepare their futon, and since the suicide was enough bloodshed for the night, the wolves didn't kill anyone else. It was an answer that let people combine the idea that the wolves didn't kill, but planned to.
ならどうして遺体があんなにひどいことになっていたんですか？あんな自殺方法があるとでも。
Then why was her body in that state? What kind of suicide leads to that?
自殺死体を狼が見つけた後、特に何もせずに放置した。それを山の獣が荒らしたとすればどうかな。
The wolf saw her body after she committed suicide and just left it there, letting the local beasts have at it. Or have it. Does that make sense?
そんなもんこの辺りの山にいるか、おやっさん。
We got beasts that could do that? In this area? Old man? He wanted to prove that the wolves were out for blood, but his knowledge as a hunter denied the possibility of there being such beasts here. So, I helped him out.
こんなことを考えたくはないんですが、化け物、ええ、あるいは神とかそういう存在かもしれません。
This isn't something that I wanted to consider, but it might have been a monster. Or maybe a god.
考えてもみてください。汚れを与える存在は実在するんです。初日に犬がいっぱい殺されていた。あれは事実です。
Think about it. There's definitely something that brings a corruption. There were lots of dead dogs on the first day, right?
あれをやる存在が
I
夜
forgot
そ
about
こら
that.
中をうろついてるとすれば、死体を見つけて同じように破壊する可能性はある。
If there was a being that could do that around the area, it could easily find Chiemi's body and do the same.
それは読み人とかムジナとか本物のヨモツオオカミとかそういうものかもしれません。
It could be Yomibito, Badger, or a real wolf.
汚れをもたらすのは確かにそういうものかもしれません。
Well, it is true that there might be something spreading the corruption.
恐ろしい。
Oh, how terrifying!
フサイさん、いたずらに不安を煽らないでくださいよ。
Fusashi-san, please don't needlessly frighten people.
いや、そのつもりはないんだ。ただ、何か未知の脅威があるのは確かで、化け物じゃなくても注意すべきだし。
That's not my intention. I actually do think there's an unidentified menace around these parts, and we should be wary of it.
死体が損壊した理由にだってなり得る。それは注意すべきじゃないか。
It could be the reason why the corpse was destroyed. Shouldn't we keep that in mind?
それはそうですが。
Well, you're not wrong.
待てって。仮に千恵美が自殺だったとして、それで狼が殺す気だったかってのもわからねえだろ。
Wait, even if that was a suicide, there's no proof that the wolves wanted to kill, right?
それに千恵美は自殺するような玉じゃねえと俺は思うぜ。
Also, I don't think that Chiemi's the type to commit suicide.
そうだ。知恵姉は自殺なんてしませんよ。
Yeah, there's no way she would kill herself.
まあまあ、皆さん落ち着いてください。
Please calm down, everyone. So we joined in. How would he handle this?
僕の意見を言ってもいいでしょうか。
Can I give my opinion?
どうぞ。
Go ahead.
もちろんだ。
Of course.
僕、こんな図体ですが、一時は戦地でカメラマンやってましてね。いくらか悲惨な現場も見たんですが。
It might not look like it, but I used to be a cameraman in a war zone, so I've seen many gruesome things.
マジか。
Seriously?
うん。で、専門家じゃないから何とも言えないんですが。
Yes, and I'm not an expert, so I can't be sure.
彼女の遺体、頭部だけ妙に散乱してて、壁の上の方まで飛び散ってるみたいなんですよ。その写真も撮ってあります。
But it looked to me like her head was scattered in a strange way. Some pieces even reached high up the wall. I even took a photo.
銃創っぽく見えるんですよね。大口径の銃のチキン弾。
It looks like a gun wound to me. A large gun at that, and from point blank range even. Sharp. A few people looked at Kanza-san. It was a fitting reaction considering he had a gun, and he grunted in response.
ああ、いえ。牧島さんがどうってことじゃないと思いますよ。
Oh, I don't believe it has anything to do with Makishima-san.
どういうこと？
What are you getting at?
上に吹き飛ぶ状況って、やっぱり口に加えて撃ったのかなって。大きな銃ならだいぶやりにくいと思いますが。
The only real situation when blood and other things can fly high up is when someone puts the gun in their mouth and shoots it. It'd be pretty hard to do with a large gun.
誰かが殺すなら水平か、あるいは上から下に撃つ方がありそうですから。
A murder would more likely be at an even or downward angle.
となるとやはり、
we are investigating right now.
自殺なん
He's
じ
too
ゃない
smart.
かと。彼女って
But it's actually being helpful,
銃
right?
を持ってたんです。
Let the man cook. He's actually speaking truth. This is gonna save us, wolves. This makes me think even more and more that either intentionally or not, that he's like badger guy. Hashimoto, the big badger. But maybe I'm just supposed to think that that's the case. Maybe he's just a very smart man. Helpful, even. That makes me think that Fusaishi-kun is right, and it was a suicide. Did she have a gun?
いや、
聞
No,
いちゃいねえな。
not that I know of.
わしも聞いてはいねえが、資料の免状は取ったと言うとった。
Never heard if she did, but she said she's got a hunting license.
マジか。それじゃあ散弾銃なら持てたはずだな。
Huh? Seriously? Then she could have had a shotgun.
地位は筋が良かった。猟やらすなら地位だと思っとった。
She had guts. If I was gonna have someone go hunting, it would have been her. Kanza-san's tone grew lower as he displayed an unexpectedly high opinion of her. The story that she was being cheated on must have hit even harder than I thought. That's manipulation at its finest. Chiemi really did have a place here. She must have gotten a license because she thought so herself. That could only mean that the gloomy talk from last time.
だってここには私の居場所なんてないもの。
But there's no place for me here. Was just nonsense from a wolf.
いや待ておかしい。それならなぜ銃が残ってねえんだ。ちえみの部屋にも銃弾なんてなかったぞ。
Wait, that doesn't make sense. Why didn't she have a gun then? We didn't find anything in her room either. Not even bullets. I was curious about why there was no gun too. But there were no bullets either. Or shells. They were with the rest of her stuff last time. Did they mess up while searching or something?
部屋には鍵はかかってなかったから誰でも入れたわけですよね。
The room was unlocked, so anyone could go in, right?
そりゃそうだが。
Right.
一番危惧すべきは狼が銃と弾丸を持ち帰ったということだと思うんです。
I believe we should fear the worst. That the wolves took both the gun and the bullets. That was when Mamiya-san took over.
実在が不確かな銃を必要以上に恐れるのもどうかとは思うんですが。
I do understand that it doesn't make complete sense to fear a gun that, for all we know, might not exist.
それでもこの後、各自の部屋をざっとでも見て回る必要があると思います。
But I believe we should check everyone's rooms.
それで見つかるように隠すかは怪しいけど、どう思います？
I'm not sure if they would hide it somewhere so obvious. What do you think?
探す姿勢を見せることが大事です。
I think it's important to show that we're willing to search.
やろう。
Let's do it.
構わねえ。
Fine by me.
待ちたまえ。うちをそんな理由で荒らされるのは少々困る。古い猟銃が出てきてもおかしくないし。
Wait, I don't think you should look around my house for such a reason. There might be old hunting rifles that had nothing to do with this.
後ろ暗いところがあるんですか？
Do you have something to hide?
でもまあ確かにおっちゃんは銃とか持って帰らなさそう。そもそも持ってそうだし、ヘタレだし。
Honestly, I don't think he'd take a gun with him. He probably already has one or two, and he's got no spine. Got his ass.
ああそうだ。正直死体からそんなものをもぎ取るなど考えただけで吐き気を催すね。
Chikamochi, you. But he's not wrong. In fact, the very idea of taking something like that from a corpse is making me nauseous.
臆病長者が死体が怖えんだろ。それで医者もできねえって聞いたぜ。
Ha! Chicken. Afraid of corpses, huh? Heard that's why you can't make it as a doctor.
違う。私は。
No, I.
黙りなさいよすぐ。野里さん、どうかご無礼をお許しください。
Stop it, Yoshisugu. Nosato-san, please forgive him. So he really was afraid of corpses. Man, the guy sure was hard to make use of. Still, there's no reason for us to be afraid here. After all, we weren't the ones who took the gun. I can only assume it was Great Lord Shinai again. My homie, Great Lord Shinai. Thanks to Hashimoto-san, just about everyone now agreed that Shiemi had killed herself with a gun. Proof was a very important thing. The people of Yasumisu really had to realize that, but cleaning up the corpses right away, they made it harder to find out the truth. Even Yasunaga-kun accepted that Shiemi had committed suicide. He was now muttering something like, "Chieni, why?" Kazu-san looked at him with extremely intense eyes. If you connected the story from before with the suicide, you could assume that it was the result of the love triangle drama. After all, she committed suicide in front of Yasunaga-kun's room. With that settled, Takumi-san spoke up again.
で、結局、今日はどうするんだ？くくるのか、くくらねえのか。
So, what do we do today? We hanging or not? Are we hanging? My friends, when they're checking on me in the morning, seeing if I'm up and about and we're hanging out for the day, are we hanging or not? After a moment of silence,
狼が殺したんじゃない。だから約束通り処刑はしないべきだ。
she wasn't killed by the wolves. That's why we shouldn't lynch anyone. Now it's interesting because there was a moment when she killed herself that Haruaki was like, oh, she's doing that maybe because she doesn't have a role and she's trying to protect the rest of the people that may or may not have a role. Like, that might just, like, that was brought up. But unintentionally, or maybe intentionally, as I'll say the argument here, unintentionally, she's saving the wolves another night, you know, because of that. Now, is that because she just made a mistake, a boner, if you will? Or is she actually like the Badger? And she knew that by killing herself, this whole situation would happen. And that the wolves, who the Badgers would essentially, for whatever reason, want to help, buy the wolves another night of not getting potentially hung. So many possibilities. Much to consider. We said we'd hang if someone died. It wasn't the wolves. May I say something? What is it?
芹沢様が雲の精神を発揮されたのではないかと思えてならないのです。
I believe that Serizawa-sama was acting on the spider's mentality. Huh? What do you mean?
汚れをその身に引き取る雲の精神によって他の皆々様を守られたのです。
She took the corruption in herself. She protected us by acting like the spider.
聡明で勇敢な芹沢様ならばそのような行動に出られるのではないか、そう思えてならない。
Wise and brave as she is, Serizawa-sama could easily do something like that.
詳しく教えてください。
Tell us more.
つまり昨晩自ら進んで血を流し他の加護者の皆様を守られたということならば
Last night, she might have drawn her own blood to protect those with guardians among us.
もちろん芹沢様は狼の来訪を目の当たりにして自決をなさったのではないでしょうか。
She might have committed suicide after witnessing the arrival of the wolves.
ちいちゃん、あの子は乱暴じゃったが確かにそういうまっすぐな優しい子でもあったんよ。
Ji-chan, she might have been violent, but she was honest and gentle too.
そういうんじゃねえ。知恵ねえは本物の肝っ玉を持ってただけだ。
It ain't that. She only just had guts.
じゃあやっぱり狼は殺す気で近づいてたってことなの？考えすぎじゃない？
Then, were the wolves really planning to kill her? Sure you're not overthinking it?
ただな、確かに知恵ねえが自殺する理由なんて他に考えられないんだよね。
But honestly, I can't think of any other case in which Chieni would commit suicide.
悩みがありゃその相手を撃つ方が知恵ねえらしいってんだよ、あるね。
Haruni, if Chieni didn't know what to do, she'd shoot someone else before herself. She knew exactly what she was doing here.
そしていつも学校で僕らを体を張って守ってくれたのも知恵ねえだ。
And she always stood up to protect us in school, didn't she?
知恵ねえ。
Chieni.
どうするんです？処刑をする方向に話が進んでますよ。
What do we do? It's looking like they'll want to hang someone today.
最低限するかどうか票を取ってもらいたいな。
I would want to vote on it at least.
橋本さん。
Hashimoto-san.
僕も君も生き残らないとならない。脅威の排除が必要ならやむを得ないのかもしれない。
We must survive. This might be necessary to accomplish that.
でも
But
もしそういう理由なら、きっと芹沢さんはカゴ車じゃなかったろう。蛇のカゴ車は生きてて、情報を掴んだことになる。
if that was really her reason, then Serizawa-san didn't have a guardian. The snake must still be alive, and he or she has information for us.
加えて皆さんが狼の打倒のために覚悟と団結をできるなら、昨日とはだいぶ状況が違うことになる。
And if everyone here can band together against the wolves, then the situation is very different from how it was yesterday.
まあ僕も良心に従って殺人はしない方に一票入れるけどね。結果には従うよ。
I'll still listen to my conscience and vote against killing, but I'll accept the results.
よし、挙手でいいか。
Alright, we'll raise hands for it.
今日くくるものを投票で選ぶことに賛成の者は挙手しろ。
Anyone who's for voting on who to hang, raise your hands. I'm a broken record at this point, but it is wild to me. I mean, I get it. They've got a rough situation here. They don't have, I don't know, they choose not to like do a secret vote or whatever. But just like the voting for people who to hang, it's kind of crazy that even a vote like this isn't in secret. Because this could be impacted so much. You see someone raise their hand and you're like, okay, well, I guess like you could be swayed to raise your hand because you see someone else raise their hand, or swayed to not raise your hand if you don't see enough people raise your hand. Because again, you don't want to be the person, you don't want to be one, if let's say like only 2 people raise their hands, you don't want to be the minority, because then you're like, ah, shit, well, now I seem like an asshole. I don't know. There's just it's so interesting. I'm not saying it's like a problem with the story or anything. It's actually an interesting part of the whole like story, the voting and then voting for who to hang and everything, and even that they vote in order of who they're sitting. Like, I brought it up before, but like it is an interesting facet of the whole, like, to bring an animal that's a heavy symbol in this game, a sheep, right? It's very like potential sheep-like you would follow someone else who you saw an earlier vote, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's an interesting facet to the story about how they vote, and they intentionally choose not to obscure anyone. Like, it's a choice. It's an active choice to be like, we're not voting in secret or writing down our votes and then counting them out or something, like Survivor style or something. Like, everyone knows the information. There's no secrets. And also, like, it's a big, like, we saw it earlier in the story where, like, it made a huge difference about, like, seeing who voted for who first, where then they tried to, like, manipulate the vote into, like, having a tie vote, like, back in Loop 2, I think. It's just interesting. Anyway, let's see who raised their hand, I guess. The old wolf guy, Yamaaki-san, Kanzo-san, Kinosuke-shi, Takumi-san, Rikako-san, Mochi, Yoshisu-kun, and I raised our hands. The only ones who didn't were Kaori-san, Yasunan-kun, Haru-chan, Meiko, and the Journos.
Mochi.
Mochi.
ごめんやっすん。でもなんか知恵姉が敵撃てって言ってる気がしてさ。
Sorry, Yasun, but I feel like I gotta avenge Chieni.
そうなのかな。本当にそうなら、夢ででも出てきてくれればいいのに。
Oh, really? If she really wants that, she could have showed up in our dreams or something.
そうだね。
Yeah.
9対6じゃ。くくるもん選べ。
Oh, we're hanging. 9 against 6. Choose who to hang.
仕方ないなあ。その場合、一人選んだらそのまま処刑をしてすぐに解散なんですか？
Guess we have no choice. Oh, if we pick and lynch someone, do we just go on our own ways then? Okay, so now I want to pause and think. if I am Haruaki, because I constantly am like, okay, when we have to make a decision, I think it's fun to like, if I was in this immediate position and I'm him and my brain is in his body and I'm trying to accomplish whatever, of course, I don't want to be hung. I don't want to be a wolf that gets hung, and I want to, in theory, protect the other wolves, right? But you don't, the thing with these social games like this is that you don't want to just immediately, especially because the votes are public, you don't want to immediately come against the strongest critic of a potential, like, you don't want to just come across and be like, oh, I'm voting the most, like, dangerous to the wolf, because then suspicion could be heaped onto you, and like, why are you voting for that person? So you got to pick someone in like the mid-range, someone that's not a threat, but also, someone that's not a threat. You don't want to pick someone who's not a threat, but also someone who's like the biggest threat, because then you're like, your game is just being exposed. So you're like, okay, well, but now that I'm saying it out loud, remember how I was talking about how, since I'm voting like one of the last to vote, if you just want to throw like a hanky vote on someone, like a vote that doesn't matter, just to dispel, like if my vote didn't matter and it was already going one way, I might just throw a vote on Kaori or Haru, so that they wouldn't think maybe that they're like, that we're working together. You know what I mean? Like, there's also that aspect. So like, your vote at the end of the group here, like on the right side, is so much more valuable than the votes on the left. It's so interesting. And I forget exactly at the beginning of the game why they arranged like this. I think they tried to arrange like by age. Like, didn't they like put older people at the left? Which is absurd, because that means then the people who are young or dumb, like Mako, get a more powerful vote, in theory. But then again, with the sheep thing, the people who vote earlier get to like set the tone for the vote. So like, they get to pick the first people that do get voted on. And so then you either have a choice to like get on that boat, the metaphorical boat, and like try to like, they set the tone, and so they get to really pick like usually the couple of people that are actually like up for deliberation. So I guess there's some power. It's just, there's some power in an early vote and there's some power in a late vote. They're just completely different powers. But like, I still think it's much better. You have so much more way of manipulating if you're one of the later votes. And it is just crazy that there was a deliberate choice to give the younger people of the village, and then I guess these outsiders and the journos, like the later votes. I just find it fascinating. I just find it so interesting. Whatever. Here we go. Let's get a vote. Do the vote. How is it, old man? The feast ends when someone's hanged.
じゃあその前に大事なことを聞いておきたいんですが、さっき言った蛇のことで。
Then, before that, I would like to say something about the snake.
もし蛇が今日狼を見つけてるなら、名乗り出てもらっていいのではないかと。
If they found a wolf today, they should come out with it.
そうですね。
If Mako speaks up here, take her out. Take her out. That's a good idea. It'd make it easier to choose who to hang, and the spider could protect them.
複数出てきたら嫌ですね。
I hope we don't get multiple.
出てくるよ、複数。昨日、織部安永君が指摘した通り、一人目が名乗り出れば、ね。
Just like Yasunaga-kun pointed out yesterday, we're bound to have more than one, right after the first comes. Yeah, if the real one came out now, I would have to play the fake. But the real one wouldn't come out just yet. Hey, Snake, you found a wolf? Doesn't look like it.
じゃあ、昨日調べたのは人だったってわけだ。
That means that the person they found yesterday was a human. Maybe? That's, I mean, we've talked a lot about, in like, especially in previous loops, about like having to make some jumps in your conclusions. That this is what they're agreeing on. Hey, but also, maybe the snake. Like, if I was a snake, it's not like the snake immediately was like, yes, we 100% agree that we will come out if we found a person, and we won't come out if we have found a human, right? Like a wolf. So, like, but, like, also, if I'm a snake, I'm playing my own game. I'm not gonna out myself. I probably, if you get me in a game of werewolf and I'm the snake power, I'm probably not coming out at all. The moment I do, I'm in trouble. I would rather silently play my odds and try to just stay in the shadows and then slowly research as many people as I need to. And then once I found out all 3 wolves, I'd be like, I got the wolves. These are the 3 wolves. Go. That's how I would play it. So maybe they found the wolf. Like my earlier example, Mako. Maybe she found a wolf. And then maybe Rikako was like, don't say anything. Or Mako, as a little tiny child, just doesn't want to say anything right now. That's also a possibility. And not super outside the realm of possibility. She already almost spoke too much when she was saying I did something bad. Whatever. I have so much to say. We're not making any progress. I see. Now, does anyone here want to be investigated before anyone else? For a moment, I almost ignored that nonchalant question. But a second later, I almost stopped breathing. Oh, that's a huge that's interesting. Oh, he's really... Wait. Ooh, that's actually really clever. Because, of course, when you ask that, any humans would die to want to be investigated. They'd be like, yeah, clear my name. How do you answer that? How do you not answer? Oh, did I read that? Get that. It was, but a second later, I almost stopped breathing. This was an attack. Very clever. Very clever by Hashimoto here. I had no idea why I thought that. But this was a deadly attack. What was I supposed to do about it? What was the right choice? Oh. Okay, if I am him, I think... No. Okay, if I'm him, I am hoping someone else answers quickly before me. Because I would think that a human who wants to prove that they're human would but a human also, in theory, if a human's being smart, they wouldn't want a night of research by a snake wasted on a confirmed human. For the good of the group, a human would want a non-human to be investigated. So sure, you get to clear your name, but I mean, is that really great for the group necessarily? Just because you get to clear your own name, it's just like, okay, we still have not found any wolves. We're not. I think if I was him, I think I wouldn't raise my hand. Because I'm just like, not everyone can raise their hand first, right? So I don't think I'm really singling myself out by not raising my hand. So for that reason, I think the best choice would be don't raise hand. So for that reason, I'm going to pick raise hand first because I think it's the worst option. Got to make myself clear here. I think the bad choice here is raising your hand. That's why I'm going to do it first. As a wolf, I didn't want to be investigated before anyone else. Even so, I raised my hand. Not raising it might be seen as asking that I not be investigated. A total of 6 people raised their hands. Kanzo-san, Kinosuke-shi, Yasunagi-kun, Mamiya-san, Yoshisuga-kun, and me. Great. None of the other 2 wolves raised their hand. I'm taking the bullet for them. Upon seeing who raised their hands, I instantly understood the nature of the trap. Those who wanted to have a voice in the feast simply had to raise their hands here. Being a proven human was necessary if you wanted to have influence and a voice here. The feast was a game of politics disguised as a game of logic. Since the murders couldn't be scientifically investigated, you had to present possible suspects purely on circumstantial evidence. However, whether the others believed that or not was up to them to decide. And since circumstantial evidence, no matter how much of it remained circumstantial, it was entirely possible to make a fool of yourself by treating it like a direct proof. There was also the fear of death, as well as religious faith. Not many people were capable of deciding everything for themselves in this situation. Those who didn't have confidence in their own decisions left the choice to others, specifically the popular, capable leaders. They were the ones who didn't raise their hands. They were too slow to realize how to react to this because they needed explanations and guidance from their leaders. Those who wanted to be leaders, on the other hand, were constantly waiting for opportunities to consolidate power by proving themselves right. It's almost like the inverse of what I was saying earlier, though. So I also get this this works because enough people raised their hand. It would have been very bad if I was the only person to raise my hand. Then I'm like, shit, because then it might just fall on me. But if enough people raise their hand, and because of what he was saying earlier, like the natural leaders want to clear their names so that they have more influence in the actual voting and the meetings, it's good that a lot of people then raise their hands because you're like, okay. So it could have fallen either way, right? Like it's, you know, I'll be interested to see what ends up happening here. Oh wait, what are you getting at?
例えばムロさん、この場全員であなたを調べることにする。明日同じように狼が出たら名乗り出るように言う。
Imagine that we all agree that the snake would investigate you today, and tomorrow we would ask them to reveal themselves if they found a wolf.
名乗り出がなければあなたは安全。以後下手に疑われずに済む。
If they don't reveal themselves, it would mean you are safe. You wouldn't be needlessly suspected.
ああ、なるほど。そうだな。
Oh, I get it.
今日も誰かが人だと分かったはずですが、名乗り出ない限り活かせませんもんね。
The snake found a human today too, but until they reveal themselves, that won't be of any use to us. Now, I know they're probably assuming that Chiemi would not kill herself if she had a snake power, but they also gotta, like, in the back of my head, if I was a human right now, I'd also be like, there's a small chance that we lost Chiemi if she killed herself and she was a snake. Now, I know earlier the talk was she totally would not kill herself if she had such an important role, but we can't guarantee until you're proven otherwise. Like, there's a small chance at least that she might have been the snake, and that's why she's not coming forward. So then that throws this whole plan, because then they're really fucked at that point if they're going under the assumption, hey, we just have the snake that may be alive right now, and just research everyone, and if they don't come forward, then we just got to assume that they're a wolf. Because then, like, let's assume, okay, they silently say here, all right, wolf, investigate Haruaki. He raised his hand. Come forward tomorrow if he's a wolf. And then no one comes forward. And they're like, okay, well then Haruaki's a human. And it's like, well, if she's dead, she can't research or come forward. So that would be really bad for the plan. Anyway. I like theory crafting. Or stating the obvious, I guess you could also say. I like pointing out the obvious, but the potentials. I approve of this too. Then, please investigate me as well.
私も調べてもらっていいかね。
Can you investigate me too?
私も調べてください。
I would like that too.
私も。
Me too. Everyone else now raised their hands like the followers they were. The sheep, if you will.
Me?
Bah! Besides the monkeys, the ones who weren't raising their hands either didn't understand the situation at all or missed the right time to hide their hope that they wouldn't be investigated. But we didn't have any of those. Both Haruchan and Kaoru-san knew what they had to do. However, My only option in this situation was to raise my hand at the first opportunity. I'd already done something to assert my wish to take a political lead. Besides that, I was a newbie who no one trusted, so I was a likely lynch target. Everyone probably assumed that I knew my situation. That was why I had put myself ahead before anyone else. Otherwise, it would have seemed extremely likely that I was a wolf. Oh, look at this picture! Oh, that's incredible! Hide that shit. Get a full... I love the CG. There's something so funny about this. Hashimoto-san slowly looked at everyone. That's just the... Yeah. Hashimoto-san slowly looked at everyone. It's the brainiac Hashimoto. Hashimoto's final gambit. He stopped the moment his gaze was directed at me. It wasn't stern or cold. It was as calm and gentle as always. But I couldn't help sensing a powerful will behind it. The will of a cameraman, an observer who wanted to know the true nature of a subject. This wasn't a battlefield, the wilderness, or some restaurant selling unusual cuisine. But he was, as always, remaining an observer. He stayed at an appropriate distance, blended in with the environment, and focused solely on observation. And if he noticed something crucial, he would simply call it out. It wouldn't be that his words would prompt some other event. His attack would be over the moment he spoke. That was just how precise his observations were. Was I being paranoid? No. He was the real deal. A true threat to me. He tested me just now. Suspected me. In that case, what came next would be... sorry about that. Please put your hands down.
そりゃそうだ。後ろ暗いところがないなら調べてもらって安全になりたい。そう思うのは当然でした。
Of course you would raise your hands. You have nothing to hide. You would obviously want to be investigated and prove your innocence.
でもじゃあ誰を調べるんです？
So, who do we investigate?
僕個人としては Q ちゃんを調べてもらえたら安心なんですけどね。外来者で疑われやすいし。
Personally, I'd be more at ease if you were first. We outsiders are easy to suspect, after all. Now, I will say, if you just watched me play this and do my deducting where I was like, oh, you know, I would probably keep my hand down, and you want to try to clown on me, plenty of people did keep their hands down. So I wouldn't be, like, singled out that way. And then everyone else ended up inevitably raising their hands. So I would have been, if I was him, I would have been safe. I would have just been one of the second groups that raised their hand and been like, oh, yeah, I want to be investigated. I just wasn't thinking or something, you know. I think we probably would have been safe. I mean, we'll see what the other route has for us, and we'll see what kind of. And I'm assuming it seems as if we're gonna probably be safe on this path, and that the other path is like a bad choice, maybe. But we'll see. Personally, I'd be. Oh, we already read that. Yep.
ただ、それは僕個人の気持ちであって。そうだな。
But that's just what I want. Otherwise.
不採取君はどうかな。彼はかなり頭が切れるようだし、人の証明があればやりやすいだろう。
What about Fusaishi-kun? He seems pretty smart, so it'd be good to know if he's human, right? I actually had to avoid being investigated by a snake.
なるほど。ということは、今日は不採取さんは処刑の対象から外すと。
I see. Would that mean that he wouldn't be an option in today's lynching?
そうなるね。
Yes. If I wasn't a wolf, this would be nothing but a kindness from a fellow outsider. I wasn't certain if he was doing this on purpose. However, I was certain of one thing. Yudai Hoshimoto was my enemy. The most formidable among everyone here, in fact. Damn. He went from an ally from the last round because he kind of protected us and was helping us along the way to, oh, he's too smart, he must die. it's kind of funny because we're the wolf. It kind of reminds me, I know it's such a whatever comparison, but it's like later like Death Note episodes where, or later in the manga, I guess you'd say, where like, you know, like we're so close, like when you have to be so close to your enemies and like you're so afraid of like making one small mistake or whatever, so you got to play like the, you know, the old phrase like, oh, keep your enemies closer or whatever, but like you got to like blend in so well when they're like right on top of you and you can't make like a mistake and you're like, oh, I know he's potentially onto me and he's monitoring my every move. The most formidable among everyone here, in fact. All that hard work to save him, and now I had to kill him. But I had to do it to survive.
いいですね。ぜひと言いたいところなのですが。
Now am I saying that Haruaki is as cool as Light Yagami? No. He's not as smooth. That's an insult. That's an insult to Light. I wish I could say it's a good idea.
僕より優先的に調べられるべき人がいる。
But there's someone who should be investigated before me.
ほう、誰かな。
Oh? And who would that be?
匠さんです。
Takumi-san. This was how I'd handle it. It was a setup for a future attack.
匠さんはおそらく今後もずっと中心的役割を果たしていくことになる。
Also, it is very like I said, now that I've said it out loud, I can't not keep comparing it. Where like the whole thing where you're in a group and you're being investigated and you got to like try to like sway, like get people like off your trail kind of thing, and so you're kind of like, again, you can't be too obvious about it, but like being like, oh, but we should you know, investigate this guy because it would make more sense if we do him because of whatever reason. Raging Loop is Death Note confirmed. Just shittier. And that's not me necessarily making a comment on Raging Loop, but I'm just saying Death Note is one of the greats. Takumi-san will continue to be an important figure for the entire feast.
彼が人か狼かもわからない状況だとみんな判断に困るでしょう。
It'll be harder for everyone to decide on what to do if we don't know whether he's human or wolf. Also, you can make the argument that my comparison with Death Note is really only available and applicable to like this loop because we are a bad wolf, right? Other loops don't count. So what did he say here? It'll be harder for everyone to decide on what to do if we don't know whether he's human or wolf. Okay.
それは
That's...
まあ、その通りだろうな。声が大きい人間ほどよく目立つが、それゆえに疑われることもあろう。
Well, he's not wrong. The outspoken ones often stand out, which draws suspicion.
おそらく優先順位的には匠さんと牧島勘三さんが同等くらいでしょう。
In terms of importance, Takumi-san is roughly on the same level as Kanzo Makishima-san.
僕は早々に生存証明は欲しいですが、自分の安全を全体の利益より優先させて、後でそれを非難されるのはごめんです。
I do want to feel secure, but I don't want to be criticized for prioritizing myself over the group as a whole.
それでも僕を先に調べてもらえるなら構いません。調べてください。
I don't mind if you're going to investigate me regardless. Do it, I say.
あるいはこういう振る舞いをする僕が疑わしいなら投票してもらってもいい。
Or, if I seem suspicious to you right now, you can even vote for me.
僕は皆さんの勝利を願いながらくくられましょう。その覚悟は昨日の晩に済ませました。
I don't mind getting hanged for the sake of your victory. I prepared for that possibility last night.
ちえみちゃんが示した勇気を彼女ほどかっこよくはないけど僕も持とうと思います。
Chemi-chan displayed impressive courage in what she did, and I would like to follow her example, even if I wouldn't be nearly as cool.
Haruaki-sama.
Haruaki-sama.
どう思う、モッチ。
What do you think, Mochi?
匠にか。まあ確かにそうだな。
Takumi, huh? Well, he's not wrong.
ねえやめないこの人くくるの
Hey, can we just not hang him?
私もこの子は狼じゃないような気がするけどね。
I also don't think he's a wolf. That went well. Haruchan was kind of overdoing it, but as long as she didn't take it any further, it'd be consistent with her act so far.
なるほどね。それじゃあ室匠さんを蛇の型に調べてもらうということで異論はないのかな。
I see. Then let's have the snake investigate Takumi Moro-san. Any objections? Silence.
室さん本人もよろしいかな。
Are you okay with it yourself?
ああ構わねえ
Yeah, I don't mind.
ではそれで。
Then it's decided. I mean, what ultimately ends up happening if I'm Haruaki and I get chosen to be researched that night? You had better hope that Chiemu was the snake, or that you're like, all right, we have one night to kill the snake. Like, let's play the odds, and you just take out the two monkeys, and you cast the die, and you hope you get a natural 20, and you root out the snake, because then you're safe. You just have to pick. You gotta find that snake so bad and eliminate them. And it's decided. He couldn't push any further. Now, it was time to vote.
拉致が開かねえ。植松のもう票取れ。
What a waste of time. Uematsu, we're voting. Also, I feel like this is like the most cheating you could do in like a visual novel like this, but now it seems that we've determined that the correct path is always going to be the thing that pops up on the left. Like here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The other option seems to probably be the bad choice if there is a clear distinction between bad and good, like correct path. So I think we should come back here before we go further down the incorrect path or the correct path. I think we should see what the other path gives us. So we will take it as a... We'll take that opportunity since it quick saved us there. I am going to... don't raise hand. I couldn't let myself be investigated before anyone else. Not when I was a wolf. It'd be bad if the snake discovered my identity, and having me become a topic of debate would be even worse. Now, it's going to be very funny if, in this timeline, everyone raises their hand except for me. Then it's like, that I could, like, it'd be silly, but I could totally see this game doing that, where you're like, oh, you didn't raise your hand this time? All right, no one else didn't raise their hand, and now you look suspicious as hell, and we're investigating you, and then it just fast forwards to, like, them just taking you out. They hang you the next day. It'd be bad if the snake discovered my identity, and having me become a topic of debate would be even worse. If it's possible, they wouldn't speak up about finding a wolf, but it didn't seem like silence was an option given the situation. Not to sound cocky or anything, but if I were taken down, the rest of the wolves would instantly fall apart. I mean, that's probably true. I wasn't supposed to raise my hand, right? And after much hesitation, I didn't. On the other hand, 5 others raised their hands. Kanso-san, Kinosuke-shi, Yasunaga-kun, Mamiya-san, Yoshisuke-kun. Shit. I'm gonna sneeze again. Excuse me. When I saw who'd stepped forward, I understood the nature of the trap. I unconsciously glanced at the one who'd set this up and found him looking right at me with a smile. Yet another damn blunder on my part. It'd be late, but maybe if I raised my hand now?
はい、ここまで。
That's enough. Hashimoto-san had me totally beat. That said, I wasn't sure if everyone would understand the point he was trying to make. But when I consider my current position...
そうなっちゃったか。困ったな。
So that's how it is it? How troubling. Despite his words, Hashimoto-san didn't sound the least bit troubled.
待ってくれ。なぜ困る？
Wait, what's troubling?
そもそも皆さんはみんな調べられたいと思っているべきなんです。
First things first, all of you should want to be investigated.
だって全会一致で調べられれば自分が狼でないと潔白の証明ができるんですから。
After all, if we're all investigated, you can gain proof you're not a wolf.
何か言えば言葉尻を取られ疑われる。そんな状況で潔白の証明は誰だって欲しいもののはずだ。
Anything you say here can be interpreted as a slip of the tongue and lead to doubt, so all of you should want to prove your innocence.
それなら私も。
Then investigate me too.
あたしも調べてもらえんかね。
I want to be investigated too.
私も調べてください。ぜひ。
Please investigate me.
それなら俺もだ。
Me too then.
僕も。
Me too.
私も。
I'm not suspicious, please. Me too.
よくわからんが、このブームには乗るっきゃない。
I don't get what's going on, but whatever. I'm in.
ええ、こうなるはずです。ここまで説明すれば理解できた人は大体手を挙げるでしょう。
Yes, this is the way it should be. Everyone who understood that explanation should have their hands raised now.
め
But only the ones who didn't understand kept their hands down.
皆さん、よろしいですよ。
You can put your hands down again. Everyone did as he said. It was unsettling, like Hashimoto-san possessed some technique that controlled everyone.
ただ、僕の予想と違っていたことが一つありましてね。
However, there was one thing that didn't go as expected.
最初から聞き手に回るつもりの方ならともかく、話し手に回りたい方はもっと強く潔白の証明を求めるはず。
Those participants who plan to be passive aside, those of you who want a voice in the feast should want to have their innocence proven more than anyone else.
実際、野里さんや織部さんの息子さんもすぐに反応した。
Indeed, Nosato-san and Oribe-san's sons were quick to respond.
何か言うたびに疑われてはかなわんからね。
Well, I can hardly do anything if I'm doubted whenever I speak.
俺みてえなやつはクソババアを疑っただけで怪しまれっからな。
Because guys like me look fishy simply for down the old hag.
そういうね。
Yes, that's correct. Incidentally, those two were designated because they were the secondary wave of those who wanted a voice in the feast, but had they realized that? Naturally, Yasunaga-kun and Kamsa-san were the primary wave, and Mamiya-san could be right up there with them this time. However,
しかし、
however,
この後どう考えてもたくさん喋るだろうはずの方が手を挙げなかったのはどうにも不思議で。
it is quite curious how those who should have had a lot to say didn't raise their hands after. He looks at me. If that's the case, I assume that's what he's about to say. You're assuming too much out of me, Hashimoto. Just because I didn't raise my hand first, I got a lot I'm thinking about. Come on now. Takumi and Haruaki. Oh shit! I'm the snake. So Takumi Muro and I mean, Haruaki's that trigger on trying to protect your ass was so fast. Shit, what horrible timing. I've been forced to out myself as a snake, and with Takumi-san at that. I just barely managed to avoid falling behind his declaration, but that could hardly be called a silver lining right now. Fusaishi, you bastard! So you're a wolf, huh?
ああ、ちょっと落ち着いて。しまったな。蛇がもう出てきちゃうなんて。
Now, calm down. Oh boy, snake's already come out.
ちょっと待ってください。何ですかこの状況は。
Please wait, what's going on right now?
俺が手を挙げなかったのは自分で自分を調べる発想が出なかったからだよ。
I didn't raise my hand because I never considered investigating myself.
僕はヘビだからヘビに調べてもらいたいと表明すること自体微妙に嘘になるのを気にしていたんです。
I'm the snake, so I was worried that announcing I wanted to be investigated by a snake would seem like a lie.
少しの嘘も許されない場においてどう振る舞うべきか悩んでしまっただけで。
I was simply worried how to act in a place where even the smallest lie is forbidden. Uh-oh. You son of a bitch. You want me to slug you right here and now? Calm down. Hashimoto-san rose partially to his feet, exuding a pressure that intimidated even a man as sturdily built as Takumi.
なるほど。お二人ともそういう理由で挙手をしなかっただけで、狼だから調べられたくないわけじゃない。
I see. So you didn't raise your hands for those reasons, not because you're wolves and didn't want to be investigated.
当たり前です。
Of course.
当然だ。
Damn right.
お二人とも誰のことを調べましたか？
Who did the two of you investigate?
お前だよ、ヤス。
You, Yasu.
え、それはありがたいけど、人だったよね。
Huh? I'm grateful for that, but I'm a human, right? Yeah. I see. So that is why he acted that way this morning, and why he didn't out himself as a snake yesterday.
それで、久石さんは？
Oh, what about you, Fusashi-san? Alright, so what do you say? What's the play here? I mean, it's interesting because as a wolf, you know the confirmed human and wolf, so you could literally, you just gotta pick someone, and pick someone who you think would be the best for your influence, right? Because, like, I think at this point, wasting, like, it would be bad if I was to say Haru or Kaori and said human. So then, but so you really pick anyone else and say like human, but don't say the same person. But also, here's my mentality from before. If you say I researched Kaori and she's a wolf, and if she doesn't freak out, panic, and blurt everything out, she dies, she gets hung somehow, if they believe me, and then the crow confirms that that was a wolf, there's a lot of credit on my part then. I'm just saying. Sell out Kaori. Because we need to keep Haru around. Oh. Damn. No, he just went the safer route. He just went the safer route of pick some, you know, important guy. I investigated Kanzo-san. He's a human. It may have sounded a bit too good to be true, but he was the only one I could see possibly backing me up. There was also the seeds of malice I'd planted in him earlier. Now then, what are we to do? I was the one who wanted to complain. The snake had revealed themselves early, but this was a totally different situation from that previous loop where Takumi-san had done so on the first day. It was the second day, so not only had the power been successfully used once, but now a liar had been successfully lured out. The longer the snake survived, the better, but as a participant, they'd already drawn out more than enough information. So long as he was acknowledged as the real deal, that was... I read that weird. I'm the real snake. I am the real snake. So you both are under the same conditions. Like hell? Like hell, the damn bastard's lying. You're the liar here. Indeed. Without any contradictions between us, neither of us could be selected. Why don't we let them be and observe how they act? Yasunaga-san reached that conclusion, but... No, let's hang them both. Yeah, of course this guy would say that. Guess trying to get him on my side was a bust. Yeah, that's fine with me. Wait, what? I know that Yasu's a human, and I'm sure the old man's a human too. I don't think this lying bastard would be brazen enough to claim one of his fellow wolves was a human at this point.
俺の知ってるおやっさんなら狼になった直後に腹でも切って死んでるだろう。
And the old man Konzo I know would have killed himself the moment he learned he was a wolf. And the old man Konzo I know. I keep reading these lines weird. I kept wanting to say that wasn't true, but unfortunately, I knew nothing I said could convince them.
おやっさんとヤスが安全で、なおかつチエミはもういねえ。
You and Yasu are safe, and besides, Chemi's already gone.
あとは俺とよく頭と口が回るらしい不妻子がいなくなれば。
If me and the sly bastard are gone,
狼の頭目として残すとヤバいやつはこの中にいねえと俺は思う。
then I don't think there'd be anyone dangerous left to take charge of the wolves. The madness of the people of Yasumizu.
他の連中は狼の頭が務まるほど悪知恵が回る人間じゃねえ。そこは俺が一番よく知ってる。
No one else is crafty enough to be suited as the leader of the wolves. I know that better than anyone.
マミヤさんだけは知らねえが、俺らをうまく回せるような太刀でもねえと思ってる。
I don't know about Mamiya-san, but I don't think she has what it takes to direct the rest of us well.
起点不足ってことかしら。認めた方がこの場は有利かもしれないけど、灼ね。
Are you saying I'm not clever enough? Maybe being seen that way is a good thing in this situation, but it ticks me off.
違う違う。あんたはあくまでよそ者って立場と振る舞いのままだろ。そうする限り他の安水の門を率いることはできねえ。
No, I meant that you're just acting as an outsider. As long as that's true, you couldn't lead the rest of Yasumizu.
なるほど。じゃあ同意するわ。
I see. Then I agree.
つうわけで。
And there you have it.
俺をくくるのはいい。だが、不妻子の方が先だ。
Go ahead and hang me if you want, but get rid of Fusaishi first.
そんな話が通ってたまりますか。正しい蛇が生き残って偽物が死ぬべきなんだ。
Like hell they'll fall for that bull. The real snake should survive while the fake one dies.
人のために死ぬ覚悟がない奴は狼だ。
Anyone who don't have the guts to die for the humans is a wolf.
暴論だ。
That makes no sense.
それ以上は水かけ論でしょう。
Any further bickering is pointless.
投票に入ってもいいんじゃないですか。
Can we start the vote now?
構わねえ。
Go ahead. Damn it. Shit. Fuck. It wasn't even a contest. The vote was 13-2 in favor of lynching me. A crushing defeat. Damn, I'm so unpopular. I can't believe it. No, don't worry. This could still be a good ending. Don't worry about it. We're fine. We can still turn this around. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, guys. Don't worry about it, chat. It's fine. I am sorry, Haruaki-sama. Rikako-san, the only one who voted in my favor on the grounds that those who claim to have guardians shouldn't be taken lightly, was the one pushing me.
気にしないでください。むしろあなたも僕の味方だと疑われることを考えたら優しくしてくれないでよかったんですよ。
Please don't worry about it. In fact, you shouldn't be nice to me at all. People might think you're my ally too.
あなたもとはどういう意味かな、ウサイシ君。
And what do you mean by two, Fusaishi-kun?
忘れないでください、橋本さん。
Remember this, Hashimoto-san.
あなたが言葉尻を捉えるつまらない罠を仕掛けるから人は本物の蛇を失うんだ。
Your stupid trap that relied on pouncing what people said will have the cost. Nope. Your stupid trap that relied on pouncing what people said will have cost the humans the real snake.
そうだね。その可能性もあるかもしれないね。
Yes, that may indeed be possible. This man was insane too. His words lacked substance. Perhaps he'd gotten too used to insane situations and taken up a relaxed attitude to handle any gruesome circumstances. It made sense. I'd been a sore loser and slipped up this time. He'd won. Rise not.
落ちなかれでいいのかな。
So I just say rise not? I would return. I was hanged and died. I swore I'd return. And when I did, I wouldn't let these people kill me. That thought repeated in mind until my consciousness swiftly faded into the mist. Ooh. Bad ending 23. Watch hint corner? No. Don't put me through that. I didn't need a hint. I picked, unintentionally picked the right thing the first time. One sheep, two sheep, red sheep, blue sheep. Gong. Alright, so we just easily go back to the correct branch here. Death. I'm gonna take another BRB. I think I can keep going. I still have a slight headache, but I'm enjoying my time here. Just a little bit too much. Although I probably won't go super longer. Sorry, I'm just looking at something. Okay. Let me do a BRB. I might... I might get some food real quick, too. Or at least get it started making. I'll see. I'll be right back. Because then I could... Then I could slowly eat a little. Or at least have it start to be made while I'm finishing upstream. We'll see. Give me just a few minutes and I'll figure something out. Alright, I'm coming back. We can read for a bit longer, but you need to allow me to, in about 15 minutes, go grab something out of the oven. And then depending on how long we do read after that, I'll try not to eat on mic, but I might put some, I might put some food in my mouth every once in a while. Let's try to read a little bit more. We'll see. Maybe just to the next checkpoint. I don't know. What a waste of time. Uematsu are voting. Oh, did my controller timeout? Whoops. Oh, it's also low in battery. I can plug it in. I'll be fine. Right? I'm reaching. Oh shit, I'm hitting the mic. Oh god. No, I shouldn't have. Oh, you shouldn't have. Okay. What a waste of time. Uematsu are voting.
はい。記録をいたしましょう。
Yes, I shall write them down. We continued talking for a short while after that, but it was mostly pointless chatter about what we should do and if anyone had any ideas.
あのさ、どこかにカメラを仕掛けておけば、狼が誰かわかるんじゃない？
Hey, can we find out who the wolves are by setting up some cameras?
それを今この場で言ったら、狼にもバレて意味なくなるんじゃないかな。
If you say that here, the wolves will hear too. It'd be pointless.
あ、そうだね。
Oh, right. Haru-chan did as I told her, displaying dedication toward contributing to the feast. Good job, Haru. A decent amount of time had passed since we'd started the feast, and it'd probably end right before the evening. Takumi-san was silent. He'd seemed against hanging people on a whim at first, but something had changed him somehow. Sorry, I was distracted by something there. Chiemi was like a fellow pillar of the community, so it must have hit him pretty hard. At this point, the only one clearly opposed to the vote was Mamiya-san, but even then, she only had a hand on her forehead. And so, the vote began. You first, old guy. Hey! You listening? You! Huh? Me? Like a demon! Scary, scary! Whatever. Old man Kanzo, your turn. One for Yasu. Did I push things too far?
処刑に反対するのがそんなにおかしなことですか？
Is it that weird to be opposed to the lynching?
てめえは頭が回る。そうやって首相なふりしてやがるかもしれねえ。
You got a good head. Could be just an act.
おやっさん、ヤスは敵じゃねえよ。
Yasu ain't your enemy, old man.
同僚聞かんことには納得せん。
Can't trust that without reason.
匠にいいから進めて。
Takumi-ni, it's fine. Move on.
じゃあ、次はばあちゃんだ。
Then, Ba-chan, your turn.
困ったね。
What a burden. Now we gotta recall, they're all confused and don't know what to, not confused, but they're all like troubled because this is their first, even though this isn't this first feast, in this loop, this is their first time actually voting. The first time they were like, oh, we don't have to, but now they're like actually having to face the consequences of their votes here. What a burden.
記者の女の人に。
One for the journalist.
待ってください。私のどこが怪しかったって言うんです？
Wait, have I done anything suspicious?
橋本さんが猿なのはええけどね。あんたはまだようわからん。
Hashimoto-san is a monkey, but I don't know about you.
Q-chan, 落ち着いて。
Calm down, Q-chan.
大丈夫です。こういうことも想定すべきですし、ちょっと驚いただけ。
I'm fine. I should have seen this coming. I was just surprised.
次は
My turn.
狼じじいに一票だ。こんなこと言う。
Oh, revenge vote.
この後に及んで適当なことばっか言ってるてめえは害悪だ。
One for the old wolf guy. I don't want to say this, but if you're just gonna say random stuff even in this situation, you're a nuisance to all of us. Man, we got votes going everywhere.
てめえ他のもんを疑っとるんじゃろのかあ
Oh, you're suspecting someone else, right? You sure?
何言ってんのかわからねえ。次、香織さんだぜ。
I don't know what you're talking about, Kaoru-san. No, wait, I wrote that way. I don't know what you're talking about. Kaoru-san, you're next.
安永、あなたはどう思う？
Yasunaga, what do you think?
誰に投票するか先に言ってもいいんでしょうか？
Can I say who I'll vote for before it's my turn?
悪いってことはね。
It ain't a problem.
僕は現状で確証を持った票を入れることができない。
I can't vote with certainty at this point.
だからここまで宴に貢献していない人を選ぶことしかできない。僕の意見を鵜呑みにしてほしくはない。
With that in mind, I can only pick someone who doesn't contribute to the feast, so don't just follow me without thinking.
いいから言えや兄貴。
Just say it!
狼じじいに投票するつもりだ。ただ母さんは自分で選んで。
I'm voting for the old wolf man. But Mom, I want you to decide for yourself how to vote.
そう、わかったわ。
Okay, so I will.
じゃあ植松里香子さんに。
One for Rikako Uematsu.
構いませんが、理由は伺ってもよろしいでしょうか？
I do not mind, but may I have a reason?
ちえみちゃんのことをいいように言っていたのが少し気になったから。
I have a problem with how you presented Chiemi-chan's death.
あの子が狼だった可能性もあるわよね。
After all, it's possible that she was a wolf, right? Of all people, she was the one to say that? Then again, I was actually planning to mention it too. That was a smart move.
どういうこと？母さん。
What do you mean?
狼同士が仲間割れしたのかもしれないというの。殺すか殺さないかとか、そういう話でね。
I'm saying that it could have been a fight between wolves. Maybe they'd argued about whether they'd actually kill or not. Wow, it was almost as if she was there herself. Ha! Kanzashi was nodding. After all, in the feast, it was common sense that humans weren't the only ones who could die at night. By creating the possibility that Chiemi was a wolf, we would mess up their assumptions about how many wolves there were left.
ちえみちゃんは殺したくなかったのかもしれない。それで自殺したのかも。
Maybe Chiemi-chan killed herself because she didn't want to kill.
待ちなさい、オリベのご婦人。それだと一人分の血を流したことにはならないのじゃないかね。
Wait, would that really count as a murder for the night?
いや、わかりませんよ。少なくとも狼が仲間割れも殺しの人数にカウントした可能性は十分ある。
We actually can't be sure, but it's entirely possible that death due to discord between wolves counts.
それで死体はあの場に残って、夫妻さんの言うように獣か何かに荒らされたとかね。
Then, they then left the corpse there, and then the beast or something else came and made a mess of it, just like Fusashi-san suggested.
そうだった場合、ちえみちゃんは人だったと狼は主張するんじゃないかしら。
In that situation, any capable wolf would want to insist that Chiemi-chan was human, right? She said that while looking at Rikako-san, who'd praised Chiemi's actions on the basis that she was human. But...
違います。私はただ
No.
芹沢様の行いを。
No, I simply wanted to.
美化したかった。
Beautify Chiemi-chan's actions. Fully aware that my comment was unnecessary, I took the stage.
自殺なんてどうやったって悲しい。どうしようもなくやるせないものです。残された僕らは辛くなる。
Suicide is sad, no matter what. It's hard for everyone left behind.
でも その死が前向きな理由だったなら、僕らもまた前向きになれる。
But if you look at it in a positive way, we can stay positive too.
そういう実のところ僕らに対するケアだったんじゃないですか、リカコさんは。
I imagine that Rikako-san was just showing consideration for us all. I took her side this time. She was an important person with special powers. It was better for her to die later. I couldn't deny that a part of me didn't want to kill her, but I ignored it. After all, following the betrayal, the only one suffering would be me. Right now, the important thing was to pretend to be a human fighting the good fight against the wolves. Kaori-san was a wolf, and would probably be outed eventually. I had to make sure I wouldn't be suspected based on acting in support of her beforehand.
そう思っていました。ただ一番は本当に芹沢様が勇気を持って盾になられたのだと。
I did think that, but most of all, I simply thought that Serizawa-sama displayed amazing bravery by trying to protect us. I didn't doubt that. Kako-san might have been more traditional than anyone else in Fujiyoshi, but her heart remained good-natured.
わかった。あとは皆が判断する。次、キヨだ。
Alright, I'll let the rest decide for themselves. You're next, Kiyo.
不妻子春明君に1票。
One for Haruaki Fusaishi-kun. Just like last time, he voted for me on the first day, because fuck him.
理由は何でしょう？
Can I have a reason? No!
君自身が言った通りだ。率先してヘビに調べられることを拒否した時点で君への投票を決めていたよ。
Didn't you say it yourself? I knew I'd vote for you the moment you took the initiative, but refused to be investigated by the snake.
なるほど、わかりました。もっと利己的になった方が良かったとは思えないんですが。
I understand, though I don't think I should have been more selfish there.
次、僕はさっき言った通り狼じじいに投票するよ。
Next, like I said, I'm voting for the old wolf guy. He was the first one to get 2 votes.
次、Chikamochiだ。
Oh man, he's got 2 votes. Maybe we pile on him now. Chikamochi, you're next. Hassan, I guess. Damn it, fucking kid. Why?
真面目すぎるなって。
He's acting too serious.
どういうことよ。
What do you mean?
いや、ほんとそれだけ。もっとヘラヘラしてる方がハッサンっぽいから。
He's too good. This kid is too good. Nothing, really. Hassan's usually more relaxed. That's it. The scary thing was that such random thoughts of his often hit the mark.
よし、どうする？
Yoshi, who are you voting for?
植松に投票する。理由はババアの話が最もだと思ったから。
Uematsu. My reason is that I think the hag's got a point.
あなたも自分で考えなさい。
You should think for yourself, too.
考えた上で言ってんだ。何より死んだ理由まで長者に利用されるのが俺には気に食わねえ。
I did, and I'm sticking to what I said. Also, I don't like how a village head's using one of our deaths to her advantage. The face of like,
どうする？
Haru, you're next.
私も植松さんに入れる。
I'll vote for Uematsu-san too. Oh, dang.
なぜ安光の者の死を悲しんだ彼女が疑われねばならんのかね。これが安水の恩の返し方か。
Why must a woman who grieved for your loss be suspected so much? Is this how you repair?
もう次行っちまえよ、匠に。
Shut up. Let's just get this over with. Takumi-ni?
あんただ、植松里香子。
One for you, Kaku Uematsu.
織部香織様に。
One for Kaori Uribe-sama.
お返しというわけかしら。
Retaliation, I suppose?
はい。私は人ですから。
Yes.
先ほど述べられたご理由は不当に思えました。
Yes, I know I'm human, and I find your reasoning unjust.
もういいか。じゃあ次だ。メイコ。
Are you done? You're next, Mako.
久
Fusayuki-san! Damn it, these kids. What?
妻子のことか。なんで入れた？
You mean Fusaishi? Why him?
みんなダメ。だけど順番。
Everyone's bad, but there's an order.
おい、何言ってんだこいつ。
Huh? What's she saying?
それが私にもさっぱりで。
I do not know either. Wait, could it be that she was...
みんな、なんとかなの。だから、くくるの。
Everyone needs to, something. It's, hang. Alright, I gotta go get that out of the oven real quick. Give me just like 2 minutes at most. I'll be right back. And then just ponder about what she's talking about. Ponder! Okay, it didn't even take me 2 minutes. I just had to grab that out. Okay, everyone needs to, something. It's, hang. So I assume this has something to do with what she was talking about earlier, how she was saying I was a bad guy or something. So there must be... Oh, Mako was the badger. Oh, of course. Okay. So she's saying, like, oh, everyone must... Interesting. That's like... maybe the worst badger you could have. She can't strategize with us. Whatever. Mako is a badger. Crap. I couldn't use her no matter how hard I thought about it. Hell, she could totally give it away and ruin us. Yeah, that's what I was saying. This is the worst possible outcome for the badger role.
まあいいや。次。
Oh well. Next.
妻子の番だぞ。
Fusaishi? Alright. Right now, I had 3 votes, as did Rikako-san. The old wolf guy had 2, while Takumi-san, Kaori-san, Yasunaga-kun, and Mamiya-san had 1 each. Alright, so let me ponder. Let me think. If I was him, before it progressed any further, do I just vote? Would I vote Uematsu just to try to help myself out here? I mean, you probably would have to, right? Unless you want to... You have 2 votes coming out after you. The problem is that I would not trust Hashimoto as far as I could throw him, and I would feel that he is going to vote for me to hang someone. I don't think he trusts me. So, I mean, you could try to tie it up. You could try to... I think you'd have to vote Rikako to give her the +1. And then try to, like... And then you would get a vote, and maybe it would be a tie, and then it would be a revote. I don't think... I don't know. I don't know if I would think Mamiya-san, or Mamiya, you know, would vote for me. I think there's a part of me that's like, oh, vote old guy, and then we're all sharing as 3 votes, and then maybe she'll also vote old guy, and then maybe there might be a chance. It would be a crazy swing that, like, you know, she has no ties to the old guy, so like maybe you go, oh, if I vote old guy and she votes old guy, then I'm closer to having like a tie with the old wolf guy. And then there's more likely a chance that people vote for him over me. Maybe. Who would I rather be in a tie with, though? Probably Rikako. I think more people would be willing to put down Rikako's name than Old Wolf Guy over me. I don't know. My other thinking is, okay, just take the more slightly guaranteed thing and just go Rikako and go up 1 vote over for her and then see what happens. I'd probably vote Rikako just for the safety, but I could see if you could guarantee that Mamiya would also vote Old Wolf Man, maybe him. I don't know. To survive, I had to vote for Akako-san or the old wolf guy. Yeah, that's what I was saying. And my vote would affect those of the remaining two, the journos. If they both voted for me, it'd be game over. But if I was right about the nature of Hashimoto-san's actions, he was trying to decide whether I was clean or not. And if he decided that I wasn't, he would have surely mentioned it before the vote began. It was possible that he would vote for someone else. I had no idea if Mamiya-san would follow his vote, but even if she didn't, it was likely that she would vote for me. Basically, if I voted for Rikako-san, she would get 4 votes and most likely be lynched. And if I voted for the old wolf guy, he would have 3 votes, and depending on who the journos voted for, I could end up in the final vote. None of those with just 1 vote were particularly suspicious, so it was best to just disregard them altogether. I had to vote between Rikako-san and the old wolf guy, but honestly, it wasn't much of a choice. Oh, it's gonna make me choose, isn't it? Kari-san's words about Rikako-san relied a decent amount on the assumption that the village heads were anti-Yasumisu, but that wasn't very credible. When you see that again, Kari-san's words about Rikako relied a decent amount on the assumption of the village heads, right, but that wasn't very credible. It'd be strange for me to base my decision on that. We already had Haru-chan agree with Kari-san's words. She didn't even give her own reason. I didn't want to be considered an ally of those who'd given up on thinking for themselves. Now, all that mattered was who the remaining 2 would vote for. This could lead to another final vote, but I'd think about that then. Oh, he just goes. I'm voting for the old wolf guy. Why? I had to say something justified and useful to the humans. You're all well aware of how he behaves, but I think it's all an act. My words surprised everyone. Why would you believe that? Naturally, I couldn't say that I'd seen him make a decent play when he was a badger. I don't believe that a senile man could survive multiple feasts like this one. We're going for the old man is shifty tactic. He's sometimes unresponsive but doesn't say a word to the very end, but when asked directly, he tends to answer immediately. When you look at it like that, he might just be ignoring or dancing around questions that are bad for him. It's a clever strategy.
ちょっと待ってください。僕も彼に投票しましたが、それはさすがに考えすぎじゃないですか。
Wait a second. I voted for him myself, but don't you think you're overthinking it?
第一、それなら、現状こうして彼が疑われる状況になっているのがおかしいじゃないですか。
Also, if that were true, don't you think he would have avoided being in this dangerous situation?
彼は何らかの抜け道を知っているんじゃないか。
I think he might know a loophole.
抜け道？死ななくて済むような？
A loophole that doesn't kill you?
はっきりはわかりませんが、彼が寝泊まりしているという家は
Interesting. That's an interesting way to try to paint this. I can't say for certain, but from what little I've seen, the place he sleeps at is basically a dilapidated wreck. I hadn't seen it this time around actually, but no one would find my claim fishy.
あの家では物意味すら行えない可能性が高い。なのに彼は生きている。
It didn't even look like it qualified as shelter, and yet he's alive.
そう言われれば。
Now that you mention it,
牧島勘三さん、これまでになかったですか？彼が不可解に生存したことが。
Kanzo Makishima-san, has he ever survived things he didn't seem capable of surviving?
確かにとは言えねえ。
Can't say if he did or didn't.
わしはこいつを信用してね。昔から気色の悪いじじいだった。
But I don't trust him. Guy's been a freak for as long as I've known him. He decided to ignore it all, apparently.
もし宴を回避する方法をご存知なのなら、ぜひ僕らに教えてほしいものです。
If you know how to avoid the feast, please do tell us.
それなら この票を取り下げたっていい。
If you do, I'll retract my vote.
誰も山からは逃げられん。
No one escapes the mountain.
つまりどうあっても協力する気はないということです。僕が彼に投票する根拠はそれで全てです。
He's basically saying he won't cooperate with us no matter what. That's the basis for my vote.
わかった。次、あんただ、間宮さん。
Alright, you're next, Mamiya-san.
私は危険でいいかしら。人殺しに加担したくないんですが。
Can I just not vote? I don't want to be complicit in murder.
そうはいかねえ。
No.
あんたが誰を疑って誰を擁護するかだって見られてんだ。
We can't have that. We need to know who you doubt and who you support.
分かったわ。じゃあ、あなた、牧島春さん。
Alright then, you, Haru Makishima-san. Huh?
春？理由は？
Haru? Your reason?
大したことはないです。絶対に処刑対象にならない方の中で一番怪しい人を選んだだけ。
It's nothing major. I just picked the most suspicious one out of the ones who would definitely not be lynched today. Oh, she's laying future seeds.
本当は山脇さんに投票しようかとも思ったけど、報復でいがみ合っても仕方ないし。
I considered voting for Yamawaki-san at first, but there's no point in such petty revenge.
私より春ちゃんの方が怪しいっていうのかいね。あんたは。
You're saying that Haru-chan's more suspicious than me?
あえて言うならですよ。植松さんへの嫌疑を答えずじまいなところとか態度とか別に確たるものじゃありません。
If I have to choose between you, yes. She didn't say why she suspected Uematsu-san, and her general attitude is strange. There's nothing certain there. It's all through Haru-chan's act, huh?
だからこだわりはしないけど、狼は全員とても狡猾で残忍で度胸が座った人物とは限らないし。
I don't have any preferences here, but I don't believe that all the wolves are so cunning, cruel, and gutsy. Now, the interesting thing here is, assuming we make it through this round and it's whatever, and then we have another night where we get to go try to murder someone. Unlike the first night, it is interesting that the next night we get to go out and try to hunt as wolves. We have a round of people like voting for us and stuff, so now we have more reason to try to like hunt specific people, like if we want to try to get back at someone who maybe was suspicious of us, which we didn't necessarily have the first round of hunting when Chemi decided to off herself. Like now we're like, all right, now we might want to get revenge on, I don't know, anyone else. Fucking like Mamiya here potentially, or if Haru's like, well, fuck her for voting for me or something. Especially if she's saying I'm the most, if Haru is the most suspicious of the people not being up for debate here. I talked right over her. There could be one who's just cowering in fear of any votes that could come their way. It's a genuine issue to consider, and that's why I'm voting for her. Seriously? That's it? That's so cruel. And so is this whole thing you're all doing. Please don't make a big deal out of this.
わかった。最後はあんただ、橋本さん。
Alright, you're last, Hashimoto-san. Don't fuck me over, Hashimoto. Don't fuck me over. Vote for the old wolf guy.
難しいな。
This is difficult.
難しいけれど。
But even
そうだな。
But even so.
狼じじい。
Yeah!
入れさせてもらおう。
I will vote for the old wolf fellow. It was settled then.
理由を聞いてもいいかい?
Can you give us a reason?
皆さんの人となりがようやく分かってきましたけれどね。
I believe I understand what kind of people you are now.
ここでムロさんを指名するのはおかしい。
And I believe nominating you at this point in time would be strange.
それだけのシンプルな理由です。
That's it, really. A simple reason.
なるほど。わかった。
I see. Alright then.
今ので 4票で1番で決まりです。
That gives him 4 votes. It is decided.
縄持ってこい。
Bring the rope.
時間が欲しい。
I need time. Now, we've seen the old man do this before. He gets voted and then he goes, I need time. Let me do something. And then shenanigans happen. So he's pulling out the same playbook again. I would assume he's doing something. Don't give him any time. People.
黙れ。
Shut it. I'd seen this before. Kanzo-san punched the old wolf guy, shocking some people. That's what I would have done to Mako if she outed me, if she was a snake and outed me as a wolf. That's what I was talking about. Just sounds so bad. Punch the child. Punch the child if she says I'm a wolf. In the end, upon getting the rope, Kanzo-san tied him up and went to hang him on the pine all by himself.
こいつはわしがくくってくる。てめえらはもう戻っとけ。
I'll hang him myself. You go back.
おやっさん、どうした?
Oh man, what's gone into you? The conditions for it were different, but this event unfolded the exact same way as last time. This was just my assumption, but I believe that Kanzo-san had some sort of unfinished business with the old wolf guy. Interesting. It's an interesting way of phrasing that. Perhaps he too suspected the old man would try something strange here. The first time he'd said he needed time, everyone accepted it, and soon he and Mochi, who'd accompanied him, were found dead outside. Was he planning to do something before his execution? That something led to murders and made Kanzo-san forcefully drag him to the tree. It seemed significant to me. Dragging my feet in the line heading back to the dining hall, I thought about the old wolf guy. Was there some sort of way to make him talk? Maybe I could loop back and... Oh shit, in our 4th official loop. So in the first loop, we get close to Chiemi. Second loop, we get close to Uematsu, Rikako. 3rd loop, we get close to Haru and learn about Haru. 4th loop, we gotta get close to the fucking old man. Work our charm on fucking old guy. I'm sure we can do it. I'm sure we can crack him. I'm sure we could crack that old nut. Maybe I could loop back and... No. He probably wouldn't react to anything I said. For now, I just had to be glad that I'd survived today's feast. I couldn't show it, of course. If there were any holes in anything I'd said today, it could prove trouble further down the line. Even so, I'd cast aside my doubts and taken a step forward. I could win this. I would win this as a wolf. And I think we'll end there for the day. I know it sounds crazy, but I think we'll do 2 days in a row of Raging Loop, because I do want to kind of I definitely want to finish Raging Loop inside of April, and I kind of want to put some more time, so, especially because I kind of started a little bit later today. I think we'll read tomorrow night. For tomorrow night's stream, we'll just read some more Raging Loop, especially because I feel I'm very interested. Call me a sucker, but I'm very interested in this wolf path. I think it's opening up interesting scenarios. But I also need to go now and eat, so I'll spare everyone me eating on mic as I'm trying to read a bunch. Because me trying to eat while also reading a visual novel doesn't make the best combination. So we'll call it there. But unless something weird changes, we'll just for tomorrow's stream, tomorrow night, Monday night, we'll just read more Raging Loop. Get more of this. Old guy down. Old guy down. Thanks so much for watching. As always, I appreciate it. Hope you had fun. The week ahead, I would say probably you'll see some Raging Loop. I talk about it in something that'll come out later, but like, there's a small chance there's another visual novel type experience that's like on the shorter side that I might start. That might be like later this week, or it might be like Wednesday even at the earliest. I'm kind of like, schedule's kind of all weirded out for this week. Also next week I'm off on travel, so I'm trying to like fit in as much as I can this week before that happens. So both work-wise and then stream-wise. So I've got a lot going on. I'm going to try to keep it all flowing and going smoothly, which should be fine. But yeah, expect Raging Loop this week. More Raging Loop. I might take a little pause on Screamer, but we might see that sometime maybe this weekend, maybe. But yeah, expect some Raging Loop and maybe something new as well. So, but at least tomorrow, more Raging Loop. I'm excited to read more of this. So, again, have a nice rest of your Sunday night. Have a great Monday as well. Until tomorrow night, take care.